for original reporting.
Tammy McCormick administration intelligence officials were back on Capitol Hill today answering questions from lawmakers about threats to the U.S., specifically Iran. Connecticut Democratic Congressman Jim Himes.
Why did we and are we risking our blood and treasure on a deeply risky venture, one that the President of the United States and the Director of National Intelligence have spent years telling us is a terrible idea?
Oil prices surged today after Iran retaliated for an Israeli strike on one of its gas fields. Analyst Dmitry Shadanikov.
The attacks are very significant. They're actually huge. What happened overnight is that Iran retaliated for the attacks on its gas facilities by striking very big and very expensive assets belonging to Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and also co-owned with Western companies. So the damage could be in the tens of billions of dollars.
President Trump warned Iran that if it continues, the U.S. will retaliate. The Pentagon is requesting another $200 billion to fight the war. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
$200 billion. I think that number could move, obviously. It takes money to kill bad guys. So we're going back to Congress and our folks there to ensure that we're properly funded for what's been done, for what we may have to do in the future.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warned today that if TSA agents go another week without a paycheck, it'll be a lot more painful than just long security lines at airports. Here on CNBC.
They're about to miss another payment. This is going to look like child's play, what's happening right now. You're going to see small airports, I believe, shut down. You're going to see extensive lines, and air travel is going to almost come to a grid halt, stop.
Many Americans covered by the Affordable Care Act are cutting spending elsewhere to afford it. Michael Wallace has that.
3 months after Congress allowed ACA tax credits to expire, causing some premiums to more than double, a new KFF survey finds 55% of those with ACA health insurance are cutting their spending on food, gas, and other basic needs. A Florida woman told KFF she sometimes doesn't take her medicine for her type 2 diabetes, so it will last longer. About 1 in 10 of last year's enrollees dropped their coverage altogether and are now uninsured.
A new survey from Fidelity Investments finds almost 1 in 3 Americans don't know when or even if they can retire. Some say they work to keep busy. Others say they can't afford to stop working. On Wall Street at this hour, stocks are lower. The Dow off 350 points. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
2 cold case murders have now been tied to a man who experts say has a history of sexual violence. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. But first, KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. And we are seeing some pretty high travel times. The north-south routes are the worst right now. Linwood to Seattle is 62 minutes. That's about average for this time of day, maybe a few minutes higher now because of that Ship Canal Bridge construction zone. Federal Way to Seattle is still 50 minutes, and we are seeing backups on those alternate routes. 99 and 509 have a lot of slowing getting into and out of downtown Seattle. The West Seattle Bridge is backed up. We also, it looks like, have a collision on I-90 westbound right at or right before the Mount Baker Tunnel. That's causing slowing all the way back across the span. We're also seeing some pressure on 520 leading up to the I-5 merge. Renton to Bellevue on 405 is 37 minutes. Bothell to Bellevue in the southbound direction is 28 minutes. And we're even seeing a little bit of slowing in the south end as well, off and on I-5 northbound in South Tacoma and then through the Fife Curve. It's just pretty heavy this morning. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. A teen suspect could find out by Friday whether he will be charged as an adult for the murder of 2 Seattle high school students in January. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun has more.
Court documents reveal he is a student at Hazen High School in Renton. Officers were able to track him down using surveillance video from the school, neighbors, and the Renton Transit Center. shooter. Detectives saw him on social media wearing the same clothing plus a gold ring. The students killed are Tyjon Stewart and Trevea Hoofmuse. Investigators say the suspect shot at them a dozen times. Investigators also tracked the suspect's cell phone to the shooting scene of the crime at the time. We're not naming him because of his age. He was 15 years old when the shooting happened. He is due back in court on Monday.
2 cold case murders have now been tied to a man with a pattern of sexual violence. 68-year-old Michael Gaff has been charged with raping and killing Susan Vesey. She was just 21 and her 2 small children were home at the time. Gaff was already in custody for the murder of 42-year-old Judy Weaver in 1984, also a cold case. Both cases relied on DNA samples that were taken years ago and stored for future testing once technology had evolved. Copper wire thieves strike again, this time on the Montlake Bridge in northeast Seattle. The state transportation department says the theft disrupted lighting and signs, including on a bikeway. A flood warning in effect for several rivers in King and Snohomish counties after multiple weather systems pummeled our region with snow and then rain. The Tolt River above Carnation is expected to crest Friday afternoon with some flooding closing roads. The Snoqualmie River is forecasted to cause widespread flooding from Falls City downstream through Carnation and Duval, with the crest expected today. Now, your full weather forecast. We are going to stay rainy and breezy, but rain will taper off through Friday, and actually we'll have some afternoon sun on Saturday. It's 52 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Grateful that you guys hang out with us. It's a Thursday, and tomorrow's all kinds of stuff. Ursula, tomorrow is Flex Fridays.
I know.
Fresh Fridays, and officially spring. Good morning, Ursula.
I know.
Come on now.
So much to look forward to.
And I'm going to see them tulips. No, not the tulips. I'm going to see the cherry blossoms.
Good for you.
Yeah.
They're going to be peak bloom here in a couple of days, right?
Yeah. I heard it's supposed to be a little bit of sun on Saturday, Sunday.
There you go. Okay, that's going to be perfect.
What we got going on the show today?
Well, coming up at 9:30, this is something that actually impacts all of us here who work in this building.
Oh, it does?
So, a main thoroughfare in Seattle, Eastlake, it's been ripped up for a minute. It's been ripped up for quite a bit. I mean, driving in stinks. I feel horrible for all the businesses along this thoroughfare.
Yeah.
And we're finding out that this $150 million plus construction project that has messed up traffic and impacted businesses is really going to be a gift to one sector and is not going to be that helpful. We don't believe.
Is it going to be a gift to me?
It's going to be a gift to the biking community. And I'm curious, is this part of this whole war against cars? Okay, we're going to talk about that coming up at 9:30.
Okay.
As always, we invite you to join us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
All right, let's get to it. I don't have that all stuff. Ursula's top stories of the day brought to you by Pendergast Law.
And we are hearing that key voices were shut out of the decision to go to war with Iran. That is the claim from former National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent in this new interview with Tucker Carlson. One of President Trump's staunchest reporters says there was no full debate inside the administration before those strikes were launched. And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey listened to the interview, and you've been reporting on it this morning. So what did you make of what Joe Kent said?
You know, some really explosive claims that Joe Kent is making on the Tucker Carlson show. Two of the biggest claims were that, number one, there was no imminent threat posed by Iran to the U.S. And let's break that down a little bit before we get to the big second claim. He says this because all you have to do is kind of read the tea leaves or actually watch interviews and what the administration officials had said, like Secretary of State Marco Rubio before the strike, saying their justification for a U.S. strike was that Israel, the Israeli government, military, was going to strike Iran and therefore that would create a chaotic situation where Iran might retaliate and would probably then fire on and U.S. troops are in and around the Middle East, definitely, which they did do. Therefore, the U.S. made a preemptive strike, and in the administration's words, that created an imminent threat to U.S. lives. Well, Kent said to Carlson that was not the intelligence assessment. He also said because Israel needed to make that attack, or said they were going to make that attack first, and that would have been the cause and effect. That didn't describe an imminent threat to the U.S. That's one point that he made. The other point that he made was, and we need to say, I may be off the bat here, that Joe Kent has been known by critics have gone after him for making what they say are anti-Semitic remarks and anti-Israeli remarks in the past. Kent's said to Tucker Carlson that, made the accusation that the Israeli government seems to be now driving policy decision when it comes to this campaign and actions on Iran. The first wave of attacks, they discussed, the impetus for an attack back in June. Remember when they went in, both Israeli strikes and U.S. strikes, to take out nuclear capabilities in Iran and the Iranian government. Well, the second round of attacks, Kent claims that those decisions and the talks about what to do about that and when and how and the outcomes and what does it look like, a month from now or a year from now, et cetera, were all done behind closed doors. This is a person who was director of counterterrorism, so protecting the borders within the United States, but he would have been maybe privy to some of that intelligence, but also helping feed some of the intelligence gathering to inform decision-making at that level. So he said, however, that the doors were closed during that decision-making process to go out and start this. Some people call it a war, so others call it a campaign, whatever you call it, this all-out, blitz against the Iranian regime right now.
In his interview, did it seem like he had an axe to grind? Because I heard in the interview that he was also praising President Trump for a lot of what he has done and how he had handled Iran in the past.
He did, absolutely. He praised Trump throughout the interview. But remember, and I think we described this a little bit on the show yesterday, there is this interesting split going on right now between staunch Trump supporters, MAGA-based supporters, Joe Kent is being one of them, and the actions that are going on in Iran. Remember, a lot of those staunch MAGA supporters are they don't want to intervene in international affairs like this. They were against a war in Iran. Joe Kent was one of those. However, when he ran for Congress here in our state, in Washington State, in the 3rd Congressional District, he had the endorsement of Trump, and he supported Trump. He still supports Trump in a lot of ways, and a lot of policy decisions, and a lot of ideology from the Trump administration. But in this case, as far as concerning this specific area, the foreign policy, he's very much against it, and we're kind of seeing that play out. He was, of course, the first top official to depart and resign from the administration, but also probably the first staunch Trump supporter to deviate from and say, he's wrong on this.
So basically, I want to get this straight. This is one of those things where it's very clear. You either believe Joe Kent or you believe Donald Trump. Joe Kent claims that there was no imminent threat to the United States. And then yesterday, Tulsi Gabbard was being grilled in the Senate. And she was asked directly about the imminent threat to the United States. Instead of her answering yes or no, she declined. Oh, they're sound.
Yes. So this is the exchange between Tulsi Gabbard and Democratic Senator John Ossoff from Georgia.
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False. This is the worldwide threats hearing where you present to Congress national intelligence, timely, objective, and independent of political considerations. Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that, as the White House claimed on March 1st, there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime? Yes or no?
Once again, Senator, the intelligence community has provided the inputs that make up this annual threat assessment.
You won't answer the question.
It is the nature of the imminent threat that the president has to make that determination based on a collection and volume
You're here
of
to be
information and
timely.
intelligence that he is provided with.
You're here to be timely, objective, and independent of political considerations.
Exactly what I'm doing.
No, you're evading a question because to provide a candid response to the committee would contradict a statement from the White House.
So I say again, you either believe Joe Kent or Donald Trump. Tulsi Gabbard, who was the boss of Joe Kent, literally could have gone and put this to bed. But instead, under oath, she made sure to answer it a very different type of way instead of being specific.
Yeah, really interesting to watch this. Fascinating to watch that interview again, having watched the Tucker Carlson interview with Joe Kent. Now if you go back in time and watch the Senate hearing with Tulsi Gabbard, because that happened before the interview with Tucker Carlson, it kind of, it's like putting puzzle pieces together, right? That she was answering in a specific way about only the president can declare a threat imminent or not. It was almost like they were predicting what Joe Kent was about to say. And they're also, apparently there's a campaign within the administration, a lot of people think, to discredit Joe Kent as well. The New York Times and others reporting there's an investigation that he leaked information before his resignation.
And the FBI has now opened an investigation into Joe Kent, which is not unusual because the agency and the Justice Department have frequently targeted the president's critics. The other thing that I want to say is that the White House is saying that Kent's claims are simply not true. They're insisting that there was a full intelligence review, and they're insisting again that Iran was a credible threat. I just want to...
Tulsi Gabbard could have put that to bed.
She could have. She absolutely
so
did not.
For anybody that's like Joe Kent doesn't know what he's talking about and he's lying, let me say again, when under oath, Tulsi Gabbard could have taken care of it. What were you going to say, Ursula?
Well, I guarantee you now that she's going to be discredited as well.
Oh.
I'm sure that. But you had sent a text message this morning. It's the first thing that I wake up to, and I'm like, this is just causing blood pressure to go up. It's like, does anyone have any confidence in any of this?
No. Wait, hold on.
Because now
never did.
President Trump. And this is a question really to our listeners. President Trump said this morning on his Truth Social, said Israel, out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility known as the South Pars gas field in Iran. And he says a relatively small section of the whole has been hit. The United States knew nothing about this particular attack, and the country of Qatar was in no way, shape, or form involved with it, nor did it have any idea that it was going to happen. And unfortunately, Iran did not know this or any of the pertinent information pertaining to that attack, and unjustifiably and unfairly attacked a portion of Qatar's Ling gas facility. No more attacks will be made by Israel. I mean, it goes on. But now the U.S. and Israel are not even on the same page.
I read that this morning, and what's interesting to me is Joe Kent actually brings up this a little bit in the Tucker Carlson interview, in that he said to Tucker Carlson early on, before any of the strikes, if the U.S. had just kind of separated itself from the Israeli government and said, nope, we're not going to join you with this, and said to the world, this could happen, we'll deal with the fallout, et cetera. We might have to jump into the fray as well because Israel might go in. And if they had allowed that to happen, then they could have made a differentiation between the two policies, but he didn't do that. The Trump administration didn't do that. And now it's interesting to hear that rhetoric on Truth Social from the president. I think a lot of experts would point to that as, the president and this administration, they're looking for an off-ramp here. They're looking for a way out to mitigate as much political damage as possible by just saying, yep, we're going to end everything. Because the other decision is to double down and engage even more, maybe troops on the ground. I know U.S. Marines are heading to the area right now. But that may be an insight into the administration trying to make that separation now and find a way out of this issue.
Well, I want to know, again, gauge from our listeners who are with us this morning. Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. How are you feeling about all of this?
Ursula, who you believe, Joe Kent or Donald Trump?
Right now, I believe Joe Kent, who is a very problematic figure. Okay, I'm going to focus on something very local here.
You're
Man, I mean,
welcome.
it's just heavy. Starting with this, very heavy. Dick's Drive-In is almost always in the news for very positive things, but this morning it's something different. They're facing a class action lawsuit, potentially, that could put some of its workplace practices under the spotlight. So there's a former employee who claims Dick's failed to pay overtime, didn't give required meal and rest breaks, and in some cases didn't pay all the money owed when workers would leave. And under Washington law, employees are supposed to get a paid 10-minute break and a 30-minute meal break on longer shifts. But the lawsuit alleges that didn't always happen and that workers were not paid when those breaks were missed. Now, Seattle University labor law professor Elizabeth Ford spoke with King 5 News, and she says these kinds of complaints are not unusual, especially in the restaurant industry.
We see all the time restaurant workers who are on their feet for 6, 7, 8 solid hours without having a break for rest or for meals.
Now, Dick says it cannot comment on active litigation, but they are insisting that the company is committed to treating employees fairly and is following the law.
First, let me start off by giving you some facts here right now. Lawsuits, civil filings and lawsuits here in this country are up 25% over the last couple years. Ursula, we have turned into a who can I sue next society. Now, I don't really know the stories. I can only go off of what I read. It sounds like this person, they were talking about the breaks and everything. And I know right now, if you are at work, there's probably some technicality, if you really wanted to, that you can find at work and you can say, oh, lawsuit. We have become a who can we sue next instead of what problem can be fixed. Now, I'm not trying to say, Ursula, that there aren't legitimate situations all the time. This little thing right here, maybe because of the track record that Dick's has over the 70-something years, the same Dick's who does well by its employees, is it possible? Might be. I'm sure they're going to have to figure that out in court. But it seems like this is not about what's wrong. This feels like who's going to be next. So in this thing right here, I'm just going to say, I know technicality sometimes comes into play. Technically, I worked 2 hours and I was supposed to have a 10-minute break. Sure, those things get talked about. But on the other side of things, we sometimes as employees, but what about when you took that little extra here or you got off early there? I just feel like we have become such a sue-happy, lawsuit society. We are trying to get quick and fast money all the time that this lawsuit right here, handle it in court. But at this time right here, and I'm usually not on the side of corporations, by the way, just to be clear, but Dick's got a track record.
I was going to say, could you be swayed? Because my initial reaction was, I'm calling BS on this because Dick's, we often talk about how great they are with their employees and the benefits. But we have seen this before in the restaurant industry, even with some of the other respected names in the region. I've mentioned Din Tai Fung. They had to pay out more than $500,000 to workers over this exact same issue, missed breaks and sick leave issues. Red Robin, Jimmy John's, Willow's Inn on Lummi Island, they had to pay out more than $1 million in theft and labor claims. And I understand what you're saying when it comes to people are so quick to look for a buck, and we are a very litigious society. Mm-hmm. But how do you compel a company or an industry that is abusing its employees? And I'm not saying that's the case with Dick's, but how do you do it without going into litigation?
Yeah, very true. You have to. This needs to go to court. Hear all sides. Real quick, Ursula, yeah. You guys know I was in a car accident recently. You know that, right? And I got to tell you guys something. So it happened. It's all on camera and all this stuff. So because the Tesla does it, I'm okay. I'm fine. But anyways, my cousin hit me up. Because I had said something, I did it on my story, and they called me up and said, "Oh, you were just in an accident? Oh, it was their fault too? Man, I know you're about to let them take you to the hospital." That's going to be an easy $20,000-$25,000.
Oh, no. That's happened to me before, too. Where,
again, I just want to point that out. I don't care what anybody says. We all can find some way to find, well, technically, there's a little lawsuit there, or this wasn't done the correct way, or I felt some type of way when I came to work. I think all of us in our lifetime have had situations where we were like, I'd rather just fix the situation, than try to do a lawsuit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and we'll see if this has any credence when it comes to Dick's. But again, it has worked with other restaurants where they've had to change.
Okay, so come to find out, Charlie's commentary actually does affect me and Ursula and all of us here, right here on Eastlake Avenue, where KIRO Radio is located. And there is a priority to, what the heck? Bikes? I'll tell you next. Gee and Ursula.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Do you like helping others? Become a Shiva volunteer. In Pierce County, join the hundreds of volunteers across Washington state who help over 90,000 people each year with their Medicare options and questions. You don't have to know Medicare. We'll teach you. And if you're bilingual, even better. For more information and how to apply, call Shiva at 1-800-562-6900 or go to insurance.wa.gov.
Sponsored by the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and aired by the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Where you buy your vehicle matters. At Subaru Puyallup, it's about safety for every drive, confidence in every season, and a buying experience that is stress-free. It starts with friendly experts who listen and continues with stress-free pricing, an easy process, and a genuine care that lasts the life of your Subaru. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event through March 31st, enjoy extra savings. Subaru of Puyallup, part of the Harnish Auto family. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
An organized home is a happy home and a happy homeowner. John Curley here. Closets by Design made me and my home happy. Experience the quality and backing of a national brand with friendly local Seattle service. From booking the appointment to a free in-home consult to installation day, Closets by Design will leave you wowed and clutter-free. Right now, get up to 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule today.
If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do now that could make your savings go twice as far in retirement, and it's tax planning. That's right. Tax planning could significantly reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Charlie Harger here. Find out how much money you could save with a free retirement tax savings analysis from the good people at Boss Retirement Solutions. To schedule your free analysis, call 206-210-1350. Tax planning for retirement could reduce your taxes not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. And the savings could be six figures. Let's find out how much money you could save. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Need some TLC for your hybrid or EV? A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue gives you fast, cost-effective, guaranteed service. Go to myevpros.com or call 425-96-EV-FIX. A&M Auto Repair treats you fair and square.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
High five. Up top.
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo!
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Today's attacks on Iran are said to be the largest yet by the United States. Here's Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Destroy missiles, launchers, and Iran's defense industrial base so they cannot rebuild. Destroy their navy, and Iran never gets a nuclear weapon.
And the Pentagon is asking for another $200 billion to keep up that offensive. House Speaker Mike Johnson reacts.
I don't think it's a yes or no question because it all depends on the details of that. We're not declaring war. It's a limited operation. I think the mission is all but complete.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says the money should be spent elsewhere. Washington's Secretary of State says the SAVE Act would cost millions of dollars and prevent eligible voters from casting a ballot. That's the measure at the federal level that would require proof of citizenship when registering to vote. Steve Hobbs, a Democrat, says the law does not fund any of the major changes he believes would need to be made to Washington's voting systems and databases.
And by the way, this is unfair anyway, and so we're going to definitely fight legally to the last breath, if need be, to try to stop this from happening.
A coalition of Republican governors and attorneys general who support the SAVE Act say states with high populations of undocumented immigrants could have outsized influence on federal elections. The Affordable Care Act is less and less affordable. More from CBS correspondent Michael Wallace.
3 months after Congress allowed ACA tax credits to expire, causing some premiums to more than double, a new KFF survey finds 55% of those with ACA health insurance are cutting their spending on food, gas, and other basic needs. A Florida woman told KFF she sometimes doesn't take her medicine for her type 2 diabetes, so it will last longer. About 1 in 10 of last year's enrollees dropped their coverage altogether and are now uninsured.
We cracked $5 a gallon for the average gallon in Washington, and now Washington's at $5.14. That's 8 cents higher than yesterday. The average in King County is even higher at $5.39. Now we're going to check your traffic. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic, and travel times actually from the north end into Seattle ticked higher. Linwood to Seattle, 65 minutes on southbound I-5. I don't see any reason for that except pure volume. Federal Way to Seattle is 42 minutes. That's a little bit better than a half hour ago. On 405 northbound, just south of Coal Creek Parkway, there's a collision blocking the right lane. So Renton to Bellevue now is 46 minutes. Bothell to Bellevue is looking just fine. It's 25 minutes. And keep in mind, 167 maintenance is closing the right lane of the South 277th on-ramp to southbound 167 for maintenance to plan for delays there. This report brought to you by KIRO News Radio. We are going to stay rainy and breezy today, but there's a chance of some sun on Saturday. It is 52 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday to all of you. Now, for the last, it feels like many months, it feels like it's been years, but it's been a pain in the neck to get to work every morning and to leave here because the main thoroughfare right in front of our building, it has been torn up because there's this big expansion project. And I ran into our Seattle Morning News host, Charlie Harger, yesterday, and he said, my commentary tomorrow is about Eastlake. And when I found out what it was about, I was like, are you kidding me?
So shout out to the Eastlake News. It's the newsletter from the neighborhood we get around here. And I'm looking through it yesterday, and I come upon this article about the Rapid Line J project, which is happening here. And I'll be honest, I didn't know much about the construction. I knew they were putting some sort of bus thing going through it, right?
Thinking it was just going to improve traffic tremendously.
Costs $156 million. It's a 2-year project. Now, 28 of that is because while the roadway is torn up, they're going to put in a new water main. So that's a big deal for the neighborhood. Great thing. And then I started looking into what's happening here. First of all, Eastlake Avenue, if you've ever driven on it, it's 2 lanes each direction. Most of the way you can park on the side of the road except during rush hour. They're getting rid of all street parking, and it'll only be 1 lane of road through, and a protected bike lane is moving in. At the expense of, for over 3 miles of this, the bus lane won't even be protected. It will be mixed in with all the other regular traffic. So this is a $128 million project. It's taking a couple of years. People won't be able to stop to go to merchants, stuff like that. And bike riders in Washington, in Seattle, 3 to 4% of the population who are going through. I know Paul is here.
It's crazy. It's crazy how they make certain things for certain people. They give them that privilege.
It's the Paul Holden lobby.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, the bike lobby is very strong here.
Very powerful in Washington. And I started getting emails after I did the commentary from people living on Beacon Hill saying, I look at those bike lanes and leaves fill them up because only a few people are riding through every day. So I don't know. It's a sign of people trying to force, make it uncomfortable enough for people that they maybe choose taking the bike instead of riding the bus or taking a car.
What ultimately is it going to do, though? I mean, you're talking about over $150 million of taxpayer money going into this rebuild that I kept hearing as rapid transit. So is it going to make people move faster with...
That's what they seem to want to say.
This is kind of easy to really get. First, if you live over here in the Eastlake area and you live right here and you know that you can, hey, how long does it take me to get down to Westlake and do some things and enjoy stuff? Because there's a lot of things going around there. Amazon has brought some stuff over there. So you make it walkable, or you can make it where folks on a bike. I guarantee you, when this is all said and done, property value in this area is going to do what? It's going to go up even more because it does. It's value to that. There's a lot of value to make areas more walkable, right? That's what things are turned into. You go out to Woodinville, you see that so often. So even though this is a minor inconvenience for us that work here, it takes us an extra, probably puts another 45 seconds on my commute because of coming into.
That's my main thoroughfare, so it's more than that.
Okay. I think the neighbors, they're really split on this. This is what I'm hearing. If you go through the Eastlake News, some are saying, hey, none of my concerns were really listened to by planners, and they were told that it'd be fine. Others are like, hey, exactly what Gee is saying. This is going to improve things.
Well, I hope it improves things. I mean, I'm
$128 million?
But it speaks to a bigger issue for me. And again, they're on Northeast 65th and Northeast 75th. The same thing happened. They put in bike lanes. And I'm going to tell you, I drive every single day back and forth, and I rarely see a biker. Eastlake, I do see more bike users.
And to be fair, this time of year, it's raining. Who wants to ride a bike?
No, I'm talking about any time of year.
Yeah. Who wants to ride a bike in this weather?
We have a strong bicycle lobby. One of Mayor McGinn was somebody who was a strong advocate back in the day, and they do hold an outside influence. Perhaps it'll become a popular form of transportation one day.
Well, speaking of transportation, thank you, Charlie.
Appreciate Charlie.
Okay.
Of course, guys.
Do you ever drive down to Portland, Gee? You have to cross the bridge that links Washington and Oregon.
Take a picture every time.
Do you know that the plan to replace that old I-5 bridge over the Columbia River has now ballooned to $14.4 billion, which is about double what they were saying just a couple of years ago? And Governor Ferguson is saying, hey, don't worry, do not fixate on that number, because he's saying the actual bridge itself could come in closer to about $7.6 billion, even less, he says, if light rail isn't fully built out right away. But bottom line, that full vision for that replacement of the bridge is still in the $13 to $15 billion range. Again, double what it was initially said to be. Yeah. And critics, of course, say once the construction starts, the spending won't stop. And there's no question that this building, the bridge, needs to be replaced. It's more than 100 years old. It is an earthquake concern. So it does need to be replaced. But, I mean, what are you thinking when they say, well, now we're talking about $14 billion being the final price tag?
I mean, I think what everybody else thinks. I mean, aren't we used to it? No, I mean, seriously, like, isn't that what we're used to? You know what? Here's also what I think. When you were just talking about that, you know what I wish? I wish that we could be talking about that problem with social services or with education. Like, oh my goodness, they only plan to spend this much. Oh, gee, can you believe they're going to double what they said that they were going to spend? How outrageous is that to spend on social services and education? That's what I wish. But yes, I think we're used to hearing about overspending or double spending.
I mean, I don't want to just take it as hey, this is what we're used to, this is okay. I think we do need to bring it to light. This is the first time I heard that it doubled in price. And now we're looking at tolls starting in 2027, which I think always was the case. But you can bet that's probably going to be more than what you might have anticipated. And construction possibly in 2028. And I guess I don't have faith that it's going to stay at $14 billion.
Well, from what I hear on social media, there's a lot of people that's getting ready to move and leave Washington State. So they'll
at least have a new bridge in the future?
Right. They're leaving. Hey, coming up next here on the show is time for the world famous. We didn't play it on Tuesday, but we're going to play it today. Would you rather? Next, Gee and Ursula.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
If you need a new car, right now is the time to go to Carter Subaru for the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Buying a car is a big decision, and who you buy it from really does matter. And that is one of the reasons our family keeps going back to Carter Subaru. Yep, we are repeat customers. We drive an Outback and a Forester, both purchased at Carter Subaru. And what keeps us so loyal is not just the cars, which are great. It's the people who work there. You don't feel pressure. You don't get the runaround. You're dealing with a team that treats customers with respect every single time. Carter Subaru is also Seattle's only Subaru dealership, and they also have the largest selection in our state with over 700 Subarus in stock right now. So if you've been thinking about going electric, Carter Subaru has great hybrid and EV options, including the 2026 Subaru Solterra, now available with 0% APR for 72 months. Come see why so many people, including our family, keep coming back. Carter Subaru in Shoreline or Ballard, or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 3/31/26.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your man.
ZipRecruiter. Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Save $10 on a pair of Rain X Latitude wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people will even install them for free.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Ready to free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at AmazonBusiness.com.
There's nothing like the taste of the very first fruit you grew yourself. Well, March is the time to visit Sky Nursery for a wide variety of Northwest-grown strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and kiwi, persimmon, fig, plum trees, and more. Visit skynursery.com.
Yikey Wawa.
What?
My hot water.
Yeah?
Not so hot.
Water heater trouble?
It's not working.
We can fix that.
This week?
How about today?
Apollo Plumbing really is ready right now.
Especially when it comes to water heater replacement.
Think I need a new one?
Is it more than 10 years old?
It is.
Probably so.
Doesn't heat like it used to.
It runs out?
All the time.
That's a warning sign.
Uh-oh.
So are little leaks.
But Apollo can get me a new one?
Installed today by our clean screen trained and trusted plumbers. They're water heater experts.
But I probably got to pay a rush fee.
No extra charge.
You make this too easy.
We'll even haul off the old one.
A new water heater.
Same day. That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
This is going to get my budget in hot water.
Got you covered there too.
How?
Our available payment plans.
I don't have to wait?
Or take cold showers.
You are a lifesaver.
Call us this morning. You'll have hot water today.
That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Hey everybody, it is the Gee and Ursula Show. Former boss of Joe Kent, Tulsi Gabbard, had a paragraph that was omitted during her testimony. Ursula will break that down and explain that next, coming up at 10 o'clock. But right now it's time for the world famous Would You Rather. So here we go. Would you rather have job security with no growth or constant growth with no stability? Ursula?
Constant growth with no stability.
Yeah.
I say that now.
I say that now. I say that forever.
Yeah.
I'd rather have constant growth with no stability, because you can do what these young kids are doing now. You can play that and job hop.
I know, but I say that as someone who has been at the same station for 37 years. Mm-hmm. So do I really feel that way?
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I did not move from here is that I kept getting a different job over the 37 years.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was no growth, I don't know that I could do it.
It'd be rough. Paul, what do you got?
I think the growth is important. Yeah, I mean, especially in today's world and job market, what really is stable these days? I mean, who knows how different things can be? I mean, we had that local story. I mean, Blazing Bagels, for example. I mean, they were set, and then things change immediately. So who knows? I'd go for the constantly changing but lack of stability there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just play devil's advocate for a second. What if you have a job that pays you a ton of money? You're not going to move anywhere, but it pays you a ton of money, and you just look at it like, hey, it's a great paycheck, and it allows me to do all the things I want to do outside of work. Would that be appealing?
Yes.
I can't argue with that.
In that case, I'd be okay with some stability.
Okay, it's funny. It's funny you asked that question because that's a nice segue into this next one.
Okay.
And I'm going all around on this one. Would you rather be underpaid and appreciated or overpaid and resented?
Are you respected if you're getting underpaid? Truly.
Ooh,
That's a good
you
point,
didn't,
Paul.
You didn't even
Yeah.
hesitate.
I'm just
Paul, you
saying,
did
like,
not
I mean,
hesitate.
like, if you're an employee, if you don't feel like you're being fairly compensated for your work, do you
Okay,
really feel like
I'm
you're
about to say something that could.
You know them bosses listening to it.
Yeah. I would argue that for much of my career, I was in the former, not the latter.
Right.
So I was told how much they appreciated me, but never quite making what I thought I should make. Let's put it that way. How's that?
All right. Nick, you want to answer that, bruh?
I would take the overpaid and underappreciated because, I feel like there's some folks I know around the neighborhood, I won't say who, but maybe, they're doing just fine, and maybe some people might not like them. Who knows?
Oh. Boy, that one was like walking on a tightrope.
Nick, that was fire right there. Would you rather be the office favorite or the one they can't fire but really don't like?
I'd rather be the office favorite.
Yeah, I don't want to be.
I do not want to be that one.
I don't want to be a source of conflict.
No, I don't want to be the toxic person.
Yeah, right.
Nope.
But, hey, Nick helped this segue right into this question. Nick, what are your thoughts on this one right here?
I don't want to be the toxic guy in the building. Yeah, give me the friendly guy in the building.
Yeah, I'm going to take the friendly guy as well. I mean, nobody wants to be the guy that they can't. Oh, Ursula.
Hold up. Because 425 sounds like Gen Xer. You all are acting like people today even have a choice. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to job hop right now? Do you have any idea how stressful it is to be in your 20s and 30s right now? It is extraordinarily stressful. They feel like they have very few options for good jobs growth or advancement or mentorship.
Yeah, I was going to mention that in the first what would you rather that we mentioned about the consistent growth. If it's consistent growth, yeah, I'll take that. But it's hard to find consistent growth these days. You're taking a big risk with the job market that we have in this kind of climate.
You're lucky if you even have a job.
Exactly.
And think about it too. I mean, introductory jobs you now need 5 years of experience for, and a college degree and all this stuff. I mean, job hopping, it is not easy to just pick up and find something new. It'd be great if it was, but hey, I appreciate you thinking of us. I'm in the 30-year-old categories, but shout outs to our 20-year-olds too. I mean, it's a grind out there.
I think that when it's all said and done, and we talk about looking back at the past, and we're like, hey, what were the 70s like? Hey, what were the 80s like? When we look back and they say, hey, what were the 20s like? Started off with a pandemic, right?
Oh my God.
Then you went into the war with Ukraine, Russia. Like we had
a lot even between the pandemic. We had George Floyd. We had recession. We've had. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Right now?
Yeah.
Like
a war.
Then gas prices.
Cost of tuition.
Affordability. Like, yo, we're going to really come back and be like, and when it's 2029 and that new, what y'all going to do? Because I'm going to have a real party on 2029 going into 2030. We need a new decade.
If we manage to survive this decade.
See,
I wish it wasn't.
See, what you just said right there, you can either laugh or cry at that statement. If we even survive this decade. Meanwhile, there's people listening to that.
I see why there are people like Black Sunshine in Kitsap County who says, I will take stability. I am a federal employee. I make less than what I would make in a big company like Boeing, but the job stability and benefits are worth it. I totally get that, actually. That's been me.
Yeah, realistically, these days, I think stability is the way to go. But if there are more jobs out there, I'd take that consistent growth.
Ursula.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes there's always that uncle at the party that just like, man, why did he have to take it there? I'm now that uncle. Because Rob in Puyallup, my good buddy, says, as a Gen Xer, I'm with the 425 about the lack of options in job hopping. To which I'm getting ready to say, I agree with that. But just think, in this country, the lack of options in job hopping has been limited for some groups in this country, more so than others. Not everybody in this country has had the ability to get those options. How about those hires? Coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, Ursula's going to break it down because Tulsi Gabbard, she omitted a paragraph during testimony, and I just don't understand why. Ursula breaks it down next. Gee and Ursula.
Download the KIRO Newsradio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Where you buy your vehicle matters. At Subaru Puyallup, it's about safety for every drive, confidence in every season, and a buying experience that is stress-free. It starts with friendly experts who listen and continues with stress-free pricing, an easy process, and a genuine care that lasts the life of your Subaru. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event through March 31st, enjoy extra savings. Subaru of Puyallup, part of the Harnish Auto family. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
Aetna was there for me as I was going through a rough medical patch this year. I had peace of mind, which helped with my healing.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when requested. We show up with the latest in online tools for easier access to healthcare. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
You know the one question that guys hate to have asked of them by their wives, Nick?
I can take a good guess.
I know you know 100 of them. This is the worst one. Do these jeans make my butt look big?
Whoa.
Can't answer that one, right? What I've noticed is whenever you ask me questions like that, I just simply say, oh, I don't know. What did the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic say?
Well, the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic would tell me that my butt looks great in those jeans now that my hormones are balanced.
What'd they do? Did they give you something to bring your weight down?
No, just a result of having my hormones balanced caused me to lose weight. Who would have known? I had no idea that would be a result of it.
So that's good. So the answer is you look great. You're beautiful.
I feel great. I look great.
Yeah.
And I know it.
I've also noticed that your testosterone makes you a little feistier than you normally are as my beautiful Greek wife.
I might be small, but I have a loud bark.
Yes, you do. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
The John Curley Show.
I can't wait till I get a little older, be the really crotchety old guy, getting close to being eccentric. As my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
This is Ricky Rubio, point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
And I'm Holly Robinson Peete, actor and along with Ricky, ambassador for Delivering Jobs. We know that a job is empowering and instills confidence. Yet 81% of adults with developmental differences don't have a paid job, even though companies that employ people with differences report better morale and higher productivity.
There are 6.5 million people in the U.S. with an intellectual or developmental difference such as autism.
And now, thanks to Autism Speaks, Best Buddies, the Holly Ride Foundation, and Special Olympics, there has never been more opportunity to improve hiring practices and build a more inclusive workforce. Join me, Ricky Rubio, and these amazing organizations in supporting and creating pathways to 1 million employment and leadership opportunities for this talented community.
Visit deliveringjobs.org to learn more.
That's deliveringjobs.org.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTRCM.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump took questions today about the war in Iran. CBS's Linda Kenyon has the latest from the White House.
The president was asked about sending U.S. troops.
No, I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you. But I'm not putting troops.
Trump was speaking in the Oval Office as he met with Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi. He praised Japan's first ever female prime minister, saying he's received assurances of support in the U.S.-led war against Iran.
They are really stepping up to the plate.
Unlike NATO, he said, the president did not specify how Japan is stepping up to the plate. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Oil prices surged today after Iran retaliated for an Israeli strike on its gas field by hitting a number of oil and gas targets in the Gulf. Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane.
We're working with our partners across the Gulf region to help them improve any defensive capabilities that they may need.
The Pentagon is requesting $200 billion in additional funding for the war with Iran. CBS's Eleanor Watson has that.
Secretary Hegseth said that number could move, but he wants to ensure that they are funded for what has already been done, and he specifically mentioned refilling the munitions that have been used and funded for what they may have to do in the future.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
What Donald Trump promised as candidate Trump is that he was not going to get America into a reckless war of choice in the Middle East. But as President Trump, that's exactly what he's done.
A Senate committee has voted to move forward the nomination of Markwayne Mullin to be Homeland Security Secretary.
In this vote, the yeas are 8, the nays are 7, and the motion to report the nominee is agreed to.
A new survey finds nearly 1/3 of Americans don't know when or if they can retire. Correspondent Michael Wallace reports.
2/3 of Gen Xers are concerned their retirement savings won't last long enough. They are the first generation that will have to fully fund their retirement from their own savings. Most of them don't have the pensions their parents collected. 72% of those surveyed expect to retire on their own terms, but the reality is most people retire before they plan to because of a layoff, health issues, or caregiving responsibilities.
Blood banks are facing a severe shortage of O-negative blood, the safest blood to give when the patient's blood type is unknown. Dr. David Leon at UC Davis says this winter's big storms and illnesses have kept many donors away.
We are still at high risk of easily getting into a critical shortage, say if there's a large event.
On Wall Street, stocks are lower today because of surging oil prices. The Dow Jones Industrial's off nearly 400 points. This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at JTV.com.
We have a very new update on a State Patrol trooper accused of a drunk driving crash that killed a motorcyclist. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. But first, KIRO News Radio real-time traffic, and we are finally improving. Linwood to Seattle, 49 minutes. Just a half hour ago, it was 65, so looking a lot better. That's just volume. There's nothing getting in the way of that drive except for that Ship Canal construction zone. We've got Federal Way to Seattle in the northbound direction, 31 minutes. The traffic on the alternate routes has eased significantly as well. No longer any backup on the West Seattle Bridge. 509, 99, smooth sailing there. 405 northbound still a little bit tough through the S-curves and off and on up through into Bellevue. Renton to Bellevue's 30 minutes. And on the 405 northbound on-ramp from 112th Avenue Southeast, there's a disabled vehicle partially blocking the ramp there, so keep that in mind. Bothell to Bellevue, a lot better, 31 minutes. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Get ready to be transported back to the golden era of rock. It's John Waite with John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band live at Emerald Queen Casino April 9th Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. The state trooper arrested on suspicion of killing a motorcyclist in a drunken crash is resigning from Washington State Patrol. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
According to WSP, Sarah Clausen announced her resignation from the force after more than a year since the death of 20-year-old Joser Vega Sanchez. She'll leave her position as of April 1st. She's accused of having a blood alcohol level of 0.17, more than twice the legal limit, 6 hours after her alleged collision with the victim in the Tri-Cities area. WSP spokesperson Chris Loftus says as her trial is ongoing, they will not be able to comment on her service in the agency or the events leading to her arrest. Clausen still faces charges of DUI vehicular homicide. Her trial was recently pushed back and is now scheduled for September 28th. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A man tried to break into the Seattle Police West Precinct last night. He was apparently spotted circling the block, trying to gain entry into the building. Police say he did ultimately surrender and was carrying a stun gun and had a knife in his car. Investigators believe the suspect was in crisis. They referred his case to Seattle's mental health court. Repairs are underway after thieves stole copper wire near the 520 bridge in Seattle. It caused outages for lights and signs. In one instance, someone broke into a utility box.
Whoever did this has some electrical knowledge, right? So I don't think the average person would open a utility box and with live wires and cut them and pull them, right? You have to know which ones are live.
Steve Peer with Washington State Department of Transportation says they're considering locks or welding to secure electrical boxes or even using surveillance cameras in the area. Let's check your weather forecast. Rainy, showers early, becoming a steady rain later in the day. So that's rain and more rain. Rain to showers tomorrow, but a break in that rain on Saturday. 52 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Oh, I'm good. Jillian gave me the high five that I needed. She missed it the last time. Ursula, I was sitting here.
Don't you hate that when you do a high five to someone and they don't see it, and then you're like,
you gotta clap yourself.
Hanging.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Tomorrow is Flex Fridays, Fresh Fridays, and officially spring. Ursula, how's your Flex Fridays going this week?
You know what? Really well. And this morning, I even woke up. First thing I did after reading your text, I did 100 jumping jacks.
Nice. What?
I know. I was like, you know what? I need to work up a sweat.
By the way,
100 jumping
that's
jacks.
a little mini workout right there.
Pathetic, I realize, but hey, it was something.
No,
that's a lot.
By the way, jumping jacks are probably the most underrated exercises out there. I mean, seriously, you can do a lot with that. And the worst exercise that I can't stand that we should probably do more of are burpees.
Oh, the burpees, I know. I really should do more of those.
Oh, take me back to middle school football conditioning with those burpees.
Start jumping your feet. All right, Ursula, what we doing today?
Well, coming up at 10:30, we always love that Gen Z make an appearance in any segment of ours.
I love
coming
Gen
up
Z
at 10:30, there's a viral hack that could fix the attention spans among our younger folks.
Ain't nothing fixing Nick and them.
We need more TV shows, less movies.
Short form.
So we'll talk about that coming up. As always, we invite you to join us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. As Paul has been producing this week, he asked again earlier this week, is there any show that gets more interaction on the text line? To which I would argue, no.
We got great texters.
Yeah, we do. And so you all are such an important part of our show, and we appreciate you for that. But with that, let's get going.
What's new at 10?
Another one of our top local stories. A teen accused of killing 2 Rainier Beach High School students was apparently already under court supervision for a prior gun case when this happened. Today, he reportedly turned 16 years old. He's now facing 2 counts of first-degree murder. Seattle police arrested him at his home in Renton this week, and the Seattle Times reports a detective was able to track him down even though there were key gaps in evidence. For example, the Metro bus where the shooting happened had malfunctioning cameras, but another bus arriving at that stop captured the attack. And from there, investigators followed the suspect across surveillance cameras from school grounds to a nearby tiny home village. And then eventually a home security camera caught him after he removed his mask. And then there was an anonymous tip that helped identify him. And a school safety officer at his Renton area school, I want to make sure we point that out too, a school resource officer confirmed who he was. So he was someone known to police. And of course, now there are many questions, including like if he was already under supervision, how did something like this happen? That he had access to a gun, and then should he be charged as an adult?
Yeah, please. Yes, he needs to be charged as an adult. I'm glad you brought this topic up, Ursula, because this is something that I'm getting ready, and I say this because I'm getting ready to turn 50, but it feels like I'm even older than that, considering the things that I have seen and been around in my life. We keep blaming people. Remember, there was a time we blamed video games, Paul. We blamed video games for the violence. We blamed TV for the violence. But I just want to tell you guys that it starts way earlier than that. It starts close at home. This isn't just about kids watching stuff on TV or playing some video games. Some kids are literally seeing this in the neighborhood. They're seeing this within friends. They're seeing this even sometimes in their own homes. Sometimes you have kids that just, as soon, and I'm not making an excuse, but as soon as they were little kids, all they have seen and heard and they talked about was violence. And at some point, if a child is around a culture of where it's talked about, where it's danger, where it's violence, where even sometimes, Ursula, I can tell you that there were times in my life. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and this might not be that popular with you guys. There used to be a time in my life that people that committed violence would get glorified. They're like, yeah, don't mess with that person. Don't mess with him because that person is this way. And I can tell you that sometimes young kids my age would see them, and I would have friends, Ursula, that would want to be just like them. My good buddy, I won't say his name because when I grew up with, he was 12 years old. And I remember I told the story that he saved me one time because I was getting ready to get beat up by some folks after a basketball practice. He actually saved me. This dude had so much power at 12 years old. The things that he was a very violent person at 12. Now, he just so happened to be my friend. But I'm bringing this up because I just want to say this. When you have laws here within King County in Seattle where you give juveniles up to 5 times of having a gun and saying there's no confinement until the 5th time, that means, like Omari Salisbury and I talked about here on this show last Friday, you got a bunch of people that just don't get it. You have a bunch of people that want to test their thesis statement, what they wrote about in college, what they read here in this psychology deal, and they try to apply that. And this is why we have so much stuff happening. So when you talk about this young teen being in a situation where he was already
under so-called supervision for a
gun charge. So that means that there is a history. And the reason why I took it deeper on this topic, Ursula, and I didn't want to move away.
You did, actually.
Because I just want to tell you guys, so people are like, how does this happen? How does a 14, 15? Very easy. And I'm telling you right now, the way things are shaped here in King County and in Seattle, there's no change. You want to know how I know there's no change? Because somebody's idea said, hey, let's take resource officers out of schools. Hey, We don't want any video surveillance. That's just unfair. Well, how did they find this person? Video surveillance. So keep that same...
And a school resource officer able to identify him in Renton.
So...
Well, and then you brought up, I mean, you're killing it on the points.
Come on.
So, first of all, the King County prosecutor, who we've had on the show, tried to get it changed in Olympia so that you don't have to wait until there's 5 before they actually face some serious time in juvie.
Yeah.
And shame on the lawmakers who didn't. I mean, again, yeah, they think that they're doing it because let's work on rehab. Let's work on finding other programs for these kids. You know what? Sometimes there are kids who are really doing bad things that need to pay and pay with some serious time.
Yes. And I'm not going to, hey, Ursula, to your point right there, and I'm not going to steal Omari Salisbury's thunder because he said it on the show, and I have to repeat what he said. And what he said is it's the people that are scared of crime whose voices are heard most, but the people affected most by crime don't get their voices heard. And that's what happens when you hear about resource officers taken out of schools, when you hear about anyone doing things to wherever the wind is blowing. Oh, today the wind is blowing, defund the police, take the police. And I remember during that time, Ursula, I used to tell you, this is the dumbest thing in the world. I don't know anybody personally that's like, yeah, dog, get rid of the police. But what it was somebody, again, a lot of these folks walking around, well, I did my thesis statement in college, and when I was in college, I had a professor that said, shut up. Just shut up. I'm so sick. And matter of fact, and this applies to a lot of arenas, Ursula, where they just get in these situations and they try to test their theories and they wonder why they're so disconnected. This is why right now we have so many small businesses that are going out of business right now because Washington and the dang tax they're going for businesses, the B&O tax is outrageous on gross receipts. How did that happen? Because nobody went to go talk to the small businesses. You run on these things like you care about these small businesses, but you don't. All right. Okay. I slow down.
Well, so in Washington, a 15-year-old can be charged as an adult for serious violent crimes. In this case, now 16-year-old is being charged with 2 murders, but it isn't automatic. Prosecutors have to decide whether to decline the case into adult court, but I think based on the severity of the crime, it would make sense in this particular case. So let's move back to the other top story and what is going on in the Middle East, because President Trump's reasons for going to war in Iran seem to be at odds with his own intelligence officials. So as you know, not only did the nation's top counterterrorism chief, Joe Kent, resign over his objections to the war in Iran, but his boss, Tulsi Gabbard, refused to say whether Iran posed an imminent threat during a hearing on Capitol Hill yesterday. And Gee, in her written testimony, she had said that Iran's nuclear program had been obliterated in earlier strikes, but she actually left that out in her oral remarks, and Senator Mark Warner grilled her about that.
I guess what I'm concerned about, one thing is, even in your printed testimony today on page 6, and your last paragraph on page 6, as a result of Operation Midnight Hammer, Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated. There's been no efforts to try to rebuild their enrichment capability. You omitted that paragraph from your oral opening. Was that because the president said there was an imminent threat 2 weeks?
No, sir. I recognize that the time was running long, and I skipped through some of the portions.
So you chose to take
my oral delivered remarks.
You chose to omit the parts that contradict the president.
I mean, that was just one little excerpt of what went on yesterday that was very troublesome, because Tulsi Gabbard also refused again to say that the threat, she didn't want to disagree with the president, but she also didn't not confirm what Joe Kent was saying. Right? I mean, it was basically lying by omission.
Yeah. You know, you guys know how I felt about this earlier, and I asked a question to all of you: who do you believe, Joe Kent or Donald Trump? And you guys know where I side on it. But I was thinking about this: even if you, Ursula, if you don't believe Joe Kent, let's just say you don't. There are still, this is proof right here. Joe Kent is proof that there are people inside of this, outside of this, the government, in this country and around the world that realize that there's a problem. This is dangerous. It's dangerous right now because there are different stories that are happening. And while there are different, like I said, doesn't matter who you agree with, Joe Kent or Donald Trump, here's where we all can agree with. There is an impact on the United States. There is an impact on that little, the school that was filled with girls that were killed. That's an impact right there. The soldiers so far that we've lost, there's an impact. The potential to lose more soldiers, that's an impact. You guys talk about gas prices and what that means. There is a real impact that is happening right now, and yet while this is happening, we're not sure what's going on. You have omitting of a statement by Tulsi Gabbard where she's playing the game of not directly answering if Iran was an imminent threat. That's sick, Ursula.
What's especially troublesome, and I do want to say one thing because we do have people who are texting correctly and saying Iran's current government, the current regime is a horrible regime. And, there are a few folks who are saying, I want the United States and Israel to take it out, and get the job done. And my question was, at what cost? At how far are we willing to go with that? And the other part of it is, is that our responsibility? You're looking at me incredulously, but you've seen that sentiment.
No,
and it's not to say that what's going on in Iran or what was going on in Iran wasn't horrible for the Iranian people.
When people say things like just take Iran out, I expect those things to come from somebody like me who has no experience when it comes to going to war, have no experience with foreign affairs, have no experience of this conflict deep down. But I don't expect for this to come from our federal, we're the United States of America.
Yes, exactly.
I expect for us to be emotional, not them. So when you start talking about just take them out, now what about the Strait of Hormuz? What about that? Who right now, that automatically will take away 25%.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? So for anybody that's sitting here said, just take them out. Do you think, again, I can understand if I said that and I've had no experience doing this, but these people are supposed to be smarter than me.
Yes.
They're supposed to be smarter than us.
And you need to build a coalition as well. You need to have a plan, and you need to have people in the room who can say no. And what worries me the most about all of this is that what you see with Tulsi Gabbard and others is that they're so fearful of saying no or pushing back against President Trump. And that is a dangerous position to be in.
So when was it? Was it last June? When was it that the United States supposedly took out all of their nuclear capability? Right? That happened. Then here recently in the first week, we took out their leader. And we thought, and then the message was, hey, people of Iran, go take office right now.
Yeah, but it's not happening.
Like, again, I can expect that coming from me and my friends talking and having an inexperienced conversation. Not them. And what happened? His son's in charge. Is the regime change happening? No. So while Iran is still awful, they were awful then, they're awful now. The atrocities that happened, I think we could all agree on that. But what's the plan?
And the other point is something that Robin Puyallup just texted in. Pete Hegseth has asked Congress for another $200 billion. And, how much could that be used to pay for Medicaid and food stamps? and for healthcare.
Yeah. Coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, scenarios at 10:47. But up next, Nick, we talking about Gen Z right now. And Gen Z and their attention span.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that next. Gee and Ursula.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I check it late at night when my wife's not looking.
Weekdays noon to 3.
My favorite thing on my phone, which is my weather app.
First thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
On KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio App.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
With Aetna, I always get a quick answer, and I don't have to search on the internet. They go above and beyond to help me with whatever I need.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when requested. We show up with access to convenient care options. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How can you grow your business from idea to industry leader? With smart business buying tools and technology from Amazon Business. From fast, free shipping to in-depth buying insights and automated purchase approvals, we deliver everything you need. Go to AmazonBusiness.com for support.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do now that could make your savings go twice as far in retirement, and it's tax planning. That's right, tax planning could significantly reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Charlie Harger here. Find out how much money you could save with a free retirement tax savings analysis from the good people at Boss Retirement Solutions. To schedule your free analysis, call 206-210-1350. Tax planning for retirement could reduce your taxes not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. And the savings could be six figures. Let's find out how much money you could save. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's cars with a K.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. Oh!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. The Pentagon is asking for $200 billion for the Iran war.
$200 billion. I think that number could move, obviously. It takes money to kill bad guys.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth says there is a plan for the region to completely dismantle Iran's military and nuclear capabilities. Meanwhile, from the president this morning.
No, I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you.
Washington's Secretary of State is speaking out against the SAVE Act. It's a proposal that would require proof of citizenship in order to register to vote. It would also require states to actively monitor voter rolls and remove any non-citizens. Secretary Steve Hobbs, a Democrat, says it's an undue burden for voters and the state.
Our early estimates show that the overall estimate election costs for the 2026 midterms would increase to $35 to $40 million statewide. That's in November. That's 7 months from now. We are not budgeted for that.
A coalition of Republican governors and attorneys general who back the SAVE Act say current systems are not secure enough. There's a new contract agreement between the WNBA and its players union, meaning the Storm season will start on time. Storm power forward Nneka Ogwumike is the union president and says players could earn more than 4 times the current rate under the new 7-year deal.
This is an agreement that is truly changing the lives of many players, those, of course, that play in the league, but the future that is also incoming.
The salary cap would also surge to about $7 million per team alongside a new revenue sharing model. The state's third diverging diamond is expected to open this weekend. The new I-5 overpass at Stilcombe DuPont Road should open early Sunday morning. Washington's Doug Adamson says the key feature is taking the road over the nearby railroad tracks.
When this new overpass opens, traffic will no longer be going through an intersection that's at grade or at the same level of the Sound Transit trains that are going through there.
There was a chance bad weather could postpone that opening. We'll keep you posted. Now we're going to get your traffic, and we are seeing better and better travel times. It's currently 59 minutes, Linwood to Seattle. Nothing blocking there, just heavy traffic still. I-5 northbound is a lot better. The slowing starts from just around the West Seattle Bridge, so it's almost a speed limit drive from Tacoma into Seattle at this point. 405 has eased considerably, just a few snags through the S-curves and a little bit around the I-90 interchange, but other than that, it's smooth sailing into Bothell. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Get ready to be transported back to the golden era of rock. It's John Waite with John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band live at Emerald Queen Casino April 9th. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Rain and more rain today and tomorrow with a high of 57 today and 56 tomorrow. It's 52 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday to all of you. And I need to ask for a definition before I kind of get into this next topic. What does it mean? What does raw dogging mean?
On the airplane?
Yeah, what is that?
That means you don't have, you got on there, no internet, no headphones, no music or anything. You just sat on
that
old
was
school.
me.
Kind of naked in a sense.
Yes.
On my first leg of my Korean Air flight. Like, hello?
You raw dogged?
There was no internet.
But it's no phone,
music,
no music,
no music.
You're
You didn't
just
have
sitting
anything.
there.
You just sat there.
That's the whole idea.
Not quite.
Okay.
Yeah, no
Not
books.
quite.
Like
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
idea is
You
you just sit and stare.
and do that. And just stare
you and
into
your thoughts.
space.
That's the whole. That's the whole
because
idea.
apparently that's a new trend on social media now among the Gen Z folk. So, you take 15 minutes or a time of your choosing, and you just sit there, no phones, no screens, just you and your thoughts. And
now it's raw dogging boredom.
I feel like that's a trashy term for just meditation.
Yeah, right. Raw dogging. I was thinking it was.
First of all,
honestly, I was thinking.
blame these young kids. They did that on purpose because they knew that us older folks would be like, oh, well,
There's like
what is
sexual
that?
innuendo in there.
Yeah. By the way, back in our day, we used to have to raw dog all the time.
Oh my god!
On the plane.
It just sounds dirty when you say it.
Yeah, it does, actually. I know. I was thinking I was stepping into something. But, okay, do you think this is a good thing? Do you think this is an actual trend? I mean, do you take time? I'm afraid to even ask you this.
Meditation.
Do you take time to meditate? Unplug?
In the car, I do all the time. But that I don't think you're focusing on the road.
Wait. But you have music.
No. Oh.
If it's silent, it counts. But if you've got a podcast or music on, I'm not counting that.
That's funny you say that. I would say sometimes half the time. So sometimes I drive in silence.
No way.
Yeah, that's my type. Yeah.
No, I get that. You know, working in an industry like this where you're listening to the radio the whole day,
constant.
You need some of that peace.
I do that. But I can't, like at home, I can't meditate. You know, I meditate to Dateline and them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's not raw dogging.
John in Shoreline says, "Stop, you guys, stop saying that."
Okay. Oh, I know. See?
Oh,
okay.
That's part of why they said it that way, because it is, there's other meanings for
I
that term.
thought so.
And by the way, just so we're clear, when you go back and tell people what was said on Gee Ursula Show, make sure you say Ursula is the one that started.
Oh, sure. No,
G didn't say that.
Thinks I'm Pollyanna. So, yeah, Pollyanna said that, actually. Hey, so there's a psychotherapist named Stephanie Sarkis who specializes in ADHD and anxiety.
Yeah.
And she told USA Today that anytime you can unplug and just be in the moment, that is a healthy thing. And when we aren't doing something and we're just sitting with our thoughts, it can really help us process things that have happened to us. Process your feelings, especially if we're using devices all the time. I think this is so true. And I think that is one of many reasons why so many people today struggle with anxiety and high stress and because you are constantly connected. And right now, if you're constantly connected, it is very hard to avoid negative things that are going on because there are a lot of negative things that are going on. And if you can just disconnect from all of that, more power to you. I need to do more of that.
How do you disconnect? And by the way, if you're listening right now, you can only pick one thing that you do to disconnect. What would that one thing be? I think that's subjective, and I'd be curious to hear. Ursula, one thing that you do to disconnect?
I love to take hot baths.
Okay.
I will stay there a long time, but unfortunately, sometimes my work does creep in, and then I'm doing show prep. But that is one way.
My disconnect every day is when Lily and I go up to the couch and we figure out the show that we're getting ready. That is my disconnect. That's when I'm done for the day. Like, I'm not working. There's no show prep. There's no watching news. But
you escape to a show that for enjoyment.
We escape to a show, but that is my disconnect. And soon after that, fortunately or unfortunately, I'll be asleep in about 30 minutes as soon as that happens. But I think it's very important. Someone said listening to audiobooks.
Yeah.
I think it is very important that all of us have that whatever it is, Because what happens is why some of us get so enraged and so upset and so down is that we don't have a proper disconnect. And by the way, don't be embarrassed about your disconnect. We all have I'm not embarrassed to tell you that a show on TV is my disconnect.
Yeah. Well, Nick in Snohomish County said hiking or a long drive. A long drive, that's another thing. But again, you always have sound. I think, especially in our industry, you become very uncomfortable with silence.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so rare. Even as I go to sleep, I'm falling asleep to something on a screen.
I'd almost be more embarrassed to feel like I need that sort of crutch or something to distract me rather than having the ability to meditate or just have a peace of mind.
Well, that's what makes it hard. It's not, that's why meditating takes practice too. You can't just sit there and immediately be, oh, I'm good. Everything's good. I found my center. It takes a lot of work to sit there mindfully, to sit there quietly with your thoughts and not do anything. And I know the text line was, having fun with the terminology. They can call it whatever they want, but if this gets you away from the screen, this gets you your break. Give it the funny name if that's what's going to get you talking about taking breaks, getting away from your screen time, and taking a moment to reflect with your thoughts. It's important. But Ursula, you mentioned I'm very uncomfortable with silence. I hate silence. I can say that confident. I am listening to music I sleep with a fan on.
You can feel lonely.
I know why the two of you are not comfortable with silence. It just hit me.
Why?
You have a bunch of siblings. You have a bunch of siblings.
Yes, it's true.
I spent a lot of my time by myself.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I can connect with. I have one sibling, but she was an older sister, and a lot of times when I was younger, I was always trying to join in on her friends and the fun. But being the older sister, she'd be like, "We want some girl time,"
Right.
So I spent a decent amount of my youth, alone or with my own thoughts.
As a matter of fact, I still remember the first time I was allowed to start going out to play with kids in the neighborhood. I used to play by myself all the time.
Yeah.
And by the way, anybody that has kids that talk to themselves, that was me. I talk to myself all the time. Yeah. I'd set up everything, and I think that's how I got good at sports, is because I would watch on TV sports, and I'd go and recreate it at home by myself. But I think that's why you and Paul, you guys got a bunch of siblings.
Yeah, that's true.
It was never quiet.
It was never quiet. So, and then I go into an industry where you've got constant noise. I get uncomfortable when we're in our newsroom, and I'm like, we work in a newsroom, and how come I don't hear any news?
Right. It is weird.
I think I'm the only one who says that.
Yeah. All right. Time for a time to judge other people's lives. We do scenarios next. Gee and Ursula.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
When was the last time someone reviewed your tax return looking for opportunity, not just accuracy? For most people, a tax return is something you file and forget. But what if it's actually a snapshot of decisions made, opportunities missed, and strategies waiting to be uncovered? At Madrona Financial and CPAs, your return isn't just paperwork, it's a roadmap. Brian Evans, CEO and host of Growing Your Wealth, is hosting a live workshop called Your Tax Return Treasure Hunt. In this interactive seminar, he'll walk you through the major schedules of your return, helping you identify missed planning opportunities and disconnects between your tax return and your long-term financial goals. Because your return already tells a story. To reserve your seat, visit madronafinancial.com or call 833-673-7373. And be sure to listen to Growing Your Wealth Saturdays at 9 a.m.
This is a paid advertisement. Investments involve risk. See full disclosures at madronafinancial.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started bagging up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
For more than 75 years, the VA Home Loan Benefit has helped millions of eligible veterans and service members achieve their piece of the American dream, a home for their families. Did you know that you could purchase a home or refinance your current home loan with your VA Home Loan Benefit? VA home loans have lower closing costs and generally enjoy lower interest rates than other borrowers. The VA home loan may save you thousands of dollars on your mortgage. For more information, visit www.va.gov or talk to a lender of your choice. Choose VA.
Your new home for Tesla, EV, and hybrid maintenance is A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue with dealer-level diagnostics, electrical, mechanical, and suspension repairs. Find A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue online at myevpros.com or 425-96-EV-FIX.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
There's nothing like the taste of the very first fruit you grew yourself. Well, March is the time to visit Sky Nursery for a wide variety of Northwest-grown strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and kiwi, persimmon, fig, plum trees, and more. Visit skynursery.com.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File today the easy way in the Credit Karma app.
Oh, yeah, we're coming into this. It's Vernita's birthday, so I had to show some love to Vernita. Vernita turned 70 years old, Ursula. 70. You know what they say, Vernita? 70 is the new 30, girl.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Hey. Happy birthday. All right, scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
My partner keeps telling me that they're too tired to go out. They're basically too tired to do anything. Cool, I get it. As G says, life does be lifing. But the second that their friends hit them up, for some reason they're energized. Now they want to go out. They got a second wind, if you will. So I'm sitting here constantly like, hold on. Am I just the place to recover or the person that you actually want to be with? Because if you only have energy for everybody else, why do I keep getting left out? That doesn't feel like love to me. It just feels like that I'm a placeholder and just here for convenience. So am I making this a big deal or is this a problem? 888-973-5476 is the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Ursula, you have to bet first.
It is absolutely a problem if you are feeling that way and you actually have evidence that he is or she is going out with friends and not having that same kind of energy with you. That is a conversation that needed to happen a long time ago. And now that it's becoming more noticeable, it's only going to make you that much more angry in your relationship, and it's going to start showing up in other very negative ways, and you have to have that conversation. And maybe there's something going on. Maybe there's something that you're not seeing, but you have to at least raise the issue as, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and here's, all the times that you've said you were too tired, but you always seem to have the energy when it's someone else. I don't feel appreciated or loved.
You need to feel appreciated and loved. Paul, what you got, man?
Yeah, I think Ursula nails it here. I mean, you can't just be going out with your friends all the time and not with your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. You're going to get in trouble that way. And this is something that I learned as I got married. You got to make time for both. I'm lucky enough to have a great friend group, and I'm lucky enough to have the love of my life. Got to make sure that there's time for both of them there, and and sometimes we do let ourselves. Oh, we're too tired. You got to push yourself and get out of that comfort zone a little bit sometimes. Push yourself to go and do that, even if it's just going to dinner, go out to eat, or maybe it's just something like let's go for a walk together just to spend some time. But
and maybe they're not aware that they're doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they're not seeing it on like, oh, I'm not realizing that I'm doing that, because maybe the friends it's not that frequent with the friends. It's maybe time to time, but you still got to make sure that you're willing and able to go out with your partner there.
Ursula, I definitely like that you said that maybe they're unaware of what's happening. Like, Kate, an example that happened this morning. I'll put y'all in my business. Let me tell you what happened this morning. So, opening day is a week from today, Mariners, right? And so I'm going to be going. I got a couple of tickets. And then I was looking at my schedule for next week, Ursula. I was trying to plan everything. And I was like, oh, okay. When I hit Lillian up, I was like, hey, you want to go to opening day with me on next Thursday? And then she texts back and she says, oh, you asked me about it a while ago. And I was like, oh, I did? And she says, yeah, glad you didn't invite anybody else. Like that, what I'm saying is this. I'm going to tell you what could have happened. What could have happened is I could have been like, oh, yeah, my homeboy, oh, yeah, hey, you want to go to the game with me? Okay, cool, we go to the game. And then next week, I just say to Lillian, hey, we're going to be going to the game. And they said, well, wait a minute. You told me, like, you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying, my whole point to telling that story is sometimes you can really make a mistake.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you might be oblivious to what's happening.
Yeah.
So you might have to talk to them, like Ursula always says, right? Conversation, compromise. What was your whole new thing?
Yes. Yes. Communication, compromise.
Yeah, communication, compromise.
And Andy in Newcastle texted in and says, it's on you to communicate the issue. It's on them to react. It's only a problem if you communicate with them that this is a problem that needs to be addressed, and then they do nothing. And I agree with that.
And by the way, I really don't think I told Lillian that a while ago. I don't remember saying that.
But Lillian's pretty buttoned down with a lot of these details.
I don't see anything in my schedule that said anything. Usually it's in the schedule. And it wasn't in the schedule.
So wait. Did I get it correct? So you guys are going to?
Yeah, we are going.
Okay, so now you are going. But thankfully,
I didn't say anything to somebody else.
Yes, I see. Okay.
Like I said, I'm just putting y'all into my business. That's my real life. Nick, what you got, man?
It sounds like their partner might be using you as a crutch for maybe having that calming presence rather than letting you join in on the fun times that you do have with your friends. Now, I wouldn't go as far to say, I don't know, they're embarrassed or not willing to be seen with you out in the public with that special someone. But if this is an ongoing pattern where the friends are more important than a dating life when going out, I'd be starting to ask if the feels are for real in all aspects and not just in that private life at home.
What's love got to do?
At least be going out maybe once or twice a month as a minimum if you're truly proud of the relationship and showing you're willing to have that balance of the outgoing life on top of the chill nights at home. If you're out with your friends all the time without your special someone, I'd be raising my eyebrows.
Be broken. Ursula, did you like Tina Turner?
I love Tina Turner. Loved Tina Turner.
I never got to see her in concert. For anybody that got to see her, shout out to you.
Seriously.
Oh man.
Yeah, I haven't. I never got to see her in concert, but I would play, and I had records of Tina Turner. I would play those records over and over.
Remember we were playing that game of comparison? Tina Turner or Whitney Houston?
Oh yes.
You can't wait.
They each had their thing.
No.
You
Nick,
started that game, brother.
I do, but you can't compare them.
They're two different styles.
Two different. You can't say it.
Okay, I just want to mention, though, Robin Puyallup texted in and said, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said his name, but he said, my struggle with my wife is that she's comfortable to tell me no, but not as much with others.
Oh.
So then what do you do?
Yeah.
And right now, Gee's texting and looking to see if you did ask Lillian?
Oh, man. Lillian just texted me on February 13th.
Day before Valentine's Day.
Oh, no, this don't count. She trying to say, this don't count. Nope, it don't count.
I believe you.
All right. Hey, coming up next here on the Gee Ursula Show, we got the 11 o'clock hour, and we'll see what Paul is cooking up. One of the things that's coming up, it looks like the new World Happiness Report shows about global standings. Where do you think the U.S. ranks with that? All right, we'll do that next. Gee Ursula.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old.
She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO Newsradio.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. A senior administration official says the Pentagon is seeking $200 billion in additional funds for the Iran war. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
We're going back to Congress and our folks there to ensure that we're properly funded for what's been done, for what we may have to do in the future, ensure that our ammunition everything's refilled.
President Trump again defends the U.S.-led war against Iran, saying he had to do it. CBS's Linda Kenyon with that.
The president says he had no choice.
Iran is a serious threat to the world, to the Middle East and to the world. And everybody agrees with me.
Speaking in the Oval Office during a visit with Japan's prime minister, Trump acknowledged oil prices have gone up in response to the war.
I thought it would be worse. Much worse, actually. I thought there was a chance it could be much worse. It's not bad, and it's going to be over with pretty soon.
How soon?
Oh, you could end this thing in 2 seconds if you wanted to.
But he said, we are being very judicious. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
A U.S. Central Command spokesperson says they're aware of reports that a U.S. F-35 aircraft conducted an emergency landing at a regional U.S. air base after flying a combat mission over Iran. They say the aircraft landed safely, the pilot is stable, and the incident is under investigation. A Senate committee advances Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullin's nomination for Department of Homeland Security Secretary, replacing Kristi Noem. CBS's Torian Small on Capitol Hill.
Rand Paul ultimately was the lone Republican on this panel to vote no. We also then saw Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, a Democrat, vote in favor. Again, this was telegraphed. Fetterman saying a while ago that he would be supporting Mullin.
A vote in the full Senate could take place as soon as next week. A federal judge denies the asylum claim for the family of Liam Ramos, the 5-year-old Minnesota boy, who along with his father was arrested by ICE in January. CBS's Michael Wallace.
The judge ordered the Ramoses be deported back to Ecuador, but they can stay in the U.S. while their appeal is pending. Liam and his father were returned to Minneapolis last month after being held at an immigration detention center in Texas for several weeks. Liam's school in Columbia Heights calls the judge's decision heartbreaking.
Details on a new contract agreement between the WNBA and its players union.
Under the 7-year deal, players could earn over $300,000. That's more than 4 times the current rate, with top players pulling in $1 million.
We were also able to add value to those players who helped build this league with some types of payments that are well overdue.
Union President Nneka Ugwuemike. The deal still needs final approval. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Stocks are down on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute.
Carol came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
Copper wire thieves strike again. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. But first, we've got KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. And we are looking so much better now. Linwood to Seattle's down to 37 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle in the northbound direction, 22 minutes. I'm not seeing anything major blocking right now. All our collisions have cleared, and even the lake bridges are looking good. 405 is pretty much a speed limit drive from South Center to Bellevue. That drive, Renton to Bellevue, is just 16 minutes, and Bothell to Bellevue is 22 minutes. The slowing on I-5 northbound through Tacoma has gone away. So pretty good time to get where you need to go. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Last year was one of the hottest on record. Get efficient heating and cooling with a Home Comfort Alliance heat pump for the price of AC. Don't wait. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. We're getting word that a State Patrol trooper has now resigned amidst charges she drove drunk and caused the death of a motorcyclist. This happened more than a year ago in the Tri-Cities area. Sarah Klassen's trial was recently pushed back and is now scheduled for September 28th. Some sad news this morning. Police confirmed the body of a Ballard woman missing since February 28th was found yesterday. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
An investigator tells KIRO News Radio the body of 28-year-old Violet Benjamin was recovered in the water at a public boat launch at Shilshole Avenue Northwest and 14th Avenue Northwest. Her father, Yobi Benjamin, has been in Seattle searching for his daughter since she went missing. Now he waits for the medical examiner for more answers.
They just don't know whether there was foul play or not. It is too early to say what the cause of death is.
The medical examiner will perform an autopsy and toxicology to determine manner and cause of death. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thieves ripped out copper wire twice in 3 weeks near the 520 bridge in Seattle. Steve Pierce with the State Department of Transportation.
It ends up just taking a lot of everyone's time to be able to redo this. And it's a safety problem because when you steal wire, it means that there are lights out for people.
He says in one case, someone broke into a utility box to steal that wire. They're considering locking or welding those shut and putting cameras in the area. A massive rock slide has closed Highway 20 in Whatcom County. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun.
This happened near Diablo Lake in the North Cascades National Park Complex. Happened yesterday. This morning, of course, highway still closed because WashDOT says some of the rocks are over 200 feet wide, meaning this is going to be a long cleanup. Right now, WashDOT says geotech engineers are analyzing the slide before they can start clearing any of those rocks.
Now we're going to check your forecast. Really no break in the rain today, high of 57. Rain turning to showers tomorrow, meaning no break there. Some afternoon sun by Saturday, though. It's 52 degrees in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday to all of you. Tomorrow is springtime. I can't wait. It's March 20th. And then Saturday, Ursula, is March 21st. It's the beginning of Aries season. The best in the horoscope, you know, Aries is the best sign that there is.
So because your birthday happens to be...
yeah, I'm an Aries. Also, if you were listening to the last segment, my wife went back to a text on February 13th.
Some of them want to hear that text.
Hey, and it basically was saying about opening day and tickets for us. And I was like, yep, we got tickets for opening day. And so on February 13th, that was the conversation.
She had receipts.
Yeah, I had the receipts.
So I'm sure you apologized to Lillian for doubting her.
Well,
on the air.
Nope, can't apologize because she was supposed to put it in the schedule.
Oh, stop. Oh, no.
She was supposed to put it in the schedule.
Oh, no.
That way, because everything we do is on the schedule.
She had it on the schedule because you'd already invited her. It was on the schedule. Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. Okay, coming up at 11:30, we do Agree to Disagree. As always, we invite you to join us on the text line 888-973-5476. Let's get to it.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
Some great news this morning for Seattle Storm fans. The WNBA and its players union have now reached a tentative deal. And we get the story here.
Oh, base it up and one.
The two sides reached a verbal deal on a new collective bargaining agreement early this morning. The term sheet should be ready in the next day or two for the players and the league's board of governors to vote on. Neither side released details, but the union's president said the deal will raise the salary cap exponentially, creating some new millionaires. The WNBA's 30th season is scheduled to tip off May 8th. Ahead of that, the league needs to cram in an expansion draft, a college draft, and a free agency period. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Of course, this would have a big impact on the Seattle Storm. My understanding is that more than 80% of WNBA players are currently free agents. The roster for the Storm is not complete. And the voice of the Storm, Dick Fain, told KOMO4 News, this is a quote, "I know they're going to get up to that $7 million salary cap. The Storm are not cheap."
Yeah. First, this is awesome. This is great news. Now, you guys remember there used to be a time where Sue Bird and others that played in the WNBA, they would have to go overseas to supplement their income because of, the money that they weren't making. And shout out to all of the women that came before today, that they were the trailblazers. They did so much to help and improve the game to where now women's basketball is being talked about a lot. While I give credit to them that came in the past, I'm going to give credit to two players. And I told you all then when they were in college, battling for the NCAA title. And I'll tell you again, the same way when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson came to the NBA, not to say that there weren't great players before Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, it was just capturing lightning in the bottle. And when those two came after their national championship game, Ursula, and then they played in the NBA, that's when the NBA really took off. And Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark did exactly that for the WNBA. When those two came out of college, women's basketball took off. Again, I don't want that to be any type of disrespect to those that came before Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I just am saying that when those two happened, women's basketball took off and the eyes started to be on it.
And I had a chance to go to my first Seattle Storm game.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that I was really impressed, first of all, with the fan base, with the amount of energy and the amount of love for the team that was here.
Yeah.
And I was, of course, asking myself, well, why did it take me so long to finally do that? Because there's something really beautiful about that atmosphere. So I'm glad, because I know that there was a lot of concern, like, was there going to be a deal? But how does this change? I mean, the minimum salary jumps from $66,000 to $300,000. Is that what I'm saying? And then average salary could be around $600,000. Top stars can earn $1.4 million, which is still a far cry from the NBA.
Yeah, no doubt. But, this is the beginning, right?
Exactly.
And this is a start.
This is progress.
And so you start talking about players that were probably making $75,000, $80,000, $100,000 now have the opportunity to make $500,000. And then now we're going to get some $1 million players that's out there. Something came out the other day. It was kind of funny. Well, it's not funny, but the Storm is asking for players, I think it's a tryout, to come and be able to practice against the Storm basketball players. And, I know sometimes that there are fellas out there that just think, oh, yeah.
Oh, they're going to be so easy.
That'd be so easy.
It's a very...
when I tell you these women are so good.
Yeah.
Like, so good. We'll come to your LA Fitness and bust you up.
For sure. Okay, speaking of business, do you know how AI is a booming business here in our state? And we're actually getting some data that proves this. Mm-hmm. Seattle, according to new data from Co-working Cafe, is now ranked number 3 nationally when it comes to AI growth. I mean, does that come as a surprise to anybody, though, given what and who we have here in the Pacific Northwest, specifically in the Puget Sound region? But the study looked at employment, salaries, job concentration, et cetera. And from November of 2024 to November of last year, Seattle had nearly 13,000 new AI job postings with an average salary of a little more than $169,000 a year.
Wow.
Exactly. And according to this report, Seattle's AI job postings were 3 times the national average. And while Seattle had third highest salaries for AI-related jobs, the study pointed out that obviously it costs a lot to live here. And we're obviously a well above the national average. But what cities would you think would be the ones that would be above us in terms of AI?
Oh, that's easy. Yeah. Silicon Valley.
Yeah,
San
exactly.
Jose
and then New York City.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, I know one thing. If you're an expert in AI and you're going to get you a job making you, $169,000 plus a year, can we be friends? I want to be friends with you now because I know you're going to be doing a lot of hiring of people. And y'all know, Ursula, that's all I do. That's why I love Gen Z so much because they're going to be the ones hiring me in the future.
So you're kind of buttering their toast right now.
Absolutely. Nick, I meet Ice too, you don't?
Oh, yeah. I know the intentions too.
Oh, that is funny. Hey, did you hear about this story involving the Metro bus driver who had some kind of medical episode?
Mm-hmm.
And this was happening in North Seattle. I believe it was Greenwood. And he had this medical episode, and it caused a crash involving 7 vehicles. But this guy tells us he saw the bus sideswiping cars along Greenwood Avenue.
And the bus just kept going. It just kept hitting cars.
But it was a passenger who ended up taking over and was able to finally get the bus to stop. And yeah, it did hit some cars, but think about how much worse it could have been. And this was on between 80th and 85th Street up there in the Greenwood neighborhood. The last I see from our story is that there's no word on the condition of the bus driver. 2 other people were transported to the hospital. But when I saw this and was hearing the people who were saying, I didn't see what was going on, but it was great that someone else knew to jump in.
Right.
Like, have you ever thought, like, if that were to happen and I'm that person, would I jump in?
And to drive the bus?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, your natural instincts, I think most people, if they were closest to it, they do what they can. It's like being held up underwater and trying to, get so you can breathe. Like you're going to do.
Yeah, you're going to natural instinct.
I would do it. And I think in this case, I'm so glad that it was on a street and it wasn't next to any big cliff or hill or something where it could have been. Now, the question would be is when I heard about this story yesterday, and it's interesting that we were talking about lawsuits earlier, like, yeah. This is one of those things where you just wonder if there's going to be some people.
Someone's going to have, if a driver has a medical event, I mean, that's one of those unforeseeable things.
Yeah, it is. And then somebody still could
sue
try
for
to.
What? Trauma?
Find the big. Yeah, I agree. But that's something that I was thinking about.
Okay. Did you hear about this World Happiness Report?
Okay.
So it is
happy?
something that comes out every year. It is published by the Wellbeing Research Center at the University of Oxford. And for the 9th year in a row, Finland is the happiest country in the world. Other Nordic countries, Iceland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, they're all ranked among the top 10. And it's based on, and they're saying, well, one of the big concerns right now is the heavy social media use, and that has actually hurt a lot of young people, especially teenage girls in English-speaking countries and in Western Europe. That was one of the conclusions of this new report. But Paul, help me because I'm trying to. United States is at 23rd place. Canada is 25th, and Britain is 29th.
Wait. So the United States is doing better than Canada?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, I guess, but what was a big part of this thing was that social media influence, and they brought up that some of these countries have been starting to do those adjustments with who can and can't use social media. So that's one of the things. Another thing that was also interesting from this is they were looking at the Latin American countries, or just some of these Latin countries, and they were saying their close-knit family groups, as Costa Rica actually jumped up really high onto the list, I think cracking up into the top 10, the top 5, actually, I think either at number 3 or number 4. And a big part of that was that nuclear close family that these countries have a lot more of. Obviously, that happens here still in the United States. But one of the interesting part of this was just how much social media really is impacting people under 25. And we were talking about, obviously, a little bit sillier earlier about being able to unplug and take some time away from this. But I think some studies like this highlight that, and it shows that, hey, as reactionary and as headline grabbing as social media ban for young kids can be, how many times have you guys talked on the air about social media's impact on kids? How much data have we seen about social media's impact on young people? And now we're seeing it play out here on a worldwide stage.
Well, great points. And I want to ask you, because I think of all of us in this studio, Gee, you are the one who spends most time on social media. I mean, there's certain platforms that I don't even look at. I barely look at Instagram. I need to do more. But
Paul
I
be
don't
on social media, but he's a lurker. He's a lurker. He doesn't post. He sees
a lot.
everything, but he never says anything on social media.
I had to take X off because I just felt it's just
too much.
Too much. Yeah, it's too much. And I'm already tracking too much, and it's just too much.
It's hard to filter out the lies from the truth on that app, too.
Yeah, that one's a tough one. I mean, it's on every app, quite frankly, but that one in particular. But I'm curious, overall, if you were to grade, and I want everyone listening right now to weigh in on this as well. If you were to grade, has social media been better for your life or worse? Like, do you think you would be better off if you didn't have the level of social media interaction that you have today?
Social media is why I'm sitting here today. So I used social media at the very beginning to completely change my career. So for me, social media has been good. But I think overall, social media it's been a blessing and a curse, right? Because some of the same things that have been going on in this country, they've always existed. Nothing's new under the sun. We just didn't have any idea about it. But I would say yes, social media has been good. How about you, Ursula?
I will say that I was not on social media as much when I was on vacation for 2 weeks, and I can't. It's hard to separate the two because I was also in some pretty incredible places. But I think mentally I was so much better off not connecting. And I think there is more of a negative impact when it comes to social media. I love the positive stories. I actually love seeing people on their vacations, or I love seeing people, but just the day-to-day, like even when we post on the Gee and Ursula Show page, the things that get the most positive reaction and the most interaction have nothing to do with politics. It has to do with family. Yeah. It has to do with something that brings you joy versus just having to be connected to social media on a daily basis. I think it's just so harmful.
I think social media gets a bad rap for the problems that we have. So when we start talking about joy here in the United States, the number one thing that I think would lift joy in the United States, that would decrease crime in the United States, is for more people in the United States to have more money. I think that would alleviate a lot of stress and a lot of problems. And when I say a lot of more money, I'm not saying that everyone needs to buy a private jet or own a yacht or anything. I'm just like, so many people in our country, like literally your number one stress has to do with money or lack thereof. And as someone who spent a lot of time stressing, I'm not saying that money makes your life better. That's not what I'm saying. Because you're already going to you can have problems rich, you can have problems broke, but you just have way more problems when you're broke.
No,
I mean, way more problems. So I just think that so much, and I just wish that it wasn't a political talking point when I say things like people need to have more money in their pocket, people need to be able to afford to do things. The United States would be so much better.
And that's probably why a lot of these Nordic countries are doing well when it comes to the happiness factor. I mean, there aren't the extremes in those countries that we have in this country. So I agree with that point. But when it comes to social media, I mean, we're seeing a bunch of people texting in right now saying, I gave up all social media 15 years ago. I seem to be getting along fine without it. During the 206, I quit all except for radio and XM radio. I mean, I know a lot of people who are not struggling for money, but I think that social media and, I mean, comparison is the thief of joy. That's one thing. That's another thing that social media does. But just all that connectivity. I mean, we want connection, but not through social media. I think we need more personal interaction.
Well, I'm going to give you an example of why the United States does not track rail with joy. I just talked about, I wish that here in the United States that more people were able to be able to afford things. I got a G is a socialist, and I got Dave in Snohomish County and says G is wrong. People need to learn how to live with the money that they have instead of outspending all the time. Think about that for a second. It bothers people for you to say you want everyone in the United States to be able to afford things. And the direct comment is you need to learn how to live with the money that you have. That's why the United States struggle with joy, because there are people who don't like to see others have joy because it gives them joy to see others lack joy. Coming up next here on the Gee Ursula Show, Agree to Disagree.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. The Gee and Ursula Show.
There's two types of people. One's that use a washcloth. The other are bare hand bandits.
Hate to break it to you, but
Ursula, you a bare hand bandit?
Weekdays 9 to noon. Watch live on YouTube.
Where you buy your vehicle matters. At Subaru of Puyallup, it's about safety for every drive, confidence in every season, and a buying experience that is stress-free. It starts with friendly experts who listen and continues with stress-free pricing, an easy process, and a genuine care that lasts the life of your Subaru. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event through March 31st, enjoy extra savings. Subaru of Puyallup, part of the Harnish Auto family. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
An organized home is a happy home and a happy homeowner. John Curley here. Closets by Design made me and my home happy. Experience the quality and backing of a national brand with friendly local Seattle service. From booking the appointment to a free in-home consult to installation day, Closets by Design will leave you wowed and clutter-free. Right now, get up to 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule today.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
High five! Up top! Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Heck yeah! He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread. Yes! The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Remember that time we were driving through France and for some reason we didn't have GPS?
Oh, for some reason? That reason would be that you didn't plug your phone in because you didn't have a charger.
Yeah, because I let you borrow my phone so you could call your mother, and you're on the phone for like 30 minutes telling her where we are. But that aside, we didn't know we were going. We did fight a little bit because we didn't know we were going. I think that Longevity Medical Clinic is like the GPS for us. They tell us which turns to make. They tell us which directions to go, right?
They do. And now I feel like the two of us together have a clear path and we have more control over our own health care.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to get out of the car and try to find information somewhere. It's all right there. As you're aging, all the little sort of turns you have to make in order to be able to have lots of energy and to enjoy your life. So for as far as I'm concerned, Longevity Medical Clinic is our GPS. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
March is an exciting time to be in the garden, especially if you'd love to be growing your own delicious fruit or berries. Hi, I'm Gabby, veggie, herb, and strawberry buyer here at Sky Nursery. This month only, we have a wide variety of Northwest-grown bare root strawberry bundles, a great way to save a lot of money on planting your own berry patch. We also have tons of blueberries, raspberries, and kiwi, as well as persimmon, fig, plum trees, and more. Come on into Sky, because there's nothing like the taste of your very first fruit that you grew yourself. Visit skynursery.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Jillian Raftery. Top lawmakers are reacting to the report that the Pentagon would ask for $200 billion in funding for the Iran war. CBS's Stacey Lynn reports.
House Speaker Mike Johnson was asked whether that figure was too high for a conflict. He said that request will be reviewed.
I'm sure it's not a random number, so we'll look at that. But obviously, it's a dangerous time in the world, and we have to adequately fund defense.
Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffrey says that money should be spent on other things like Medicaid, extending ACA tax credits, and refunding the president's tariffs.
Make life better for everyday Americans.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
The FBI is now investigating Joe Kent, the former director of the National Center for Counterterrorism. Kent resigned Tuesday, saying he was protesting the war in Iran. In an interview with Tucker Carlson, the former Southwest Washington congressional candidate said key decision makers were kept away from the president. He says they weren't allowed to express doubts about the war.
This would be more challenging to explain had the Secretary of State, the president, and the Speaker of the House not come out and said that we conducted this attack at this time because the Israelis were about to do so. So that takes away the argument that there was an imminent threat.
The New York Times is reporting the FBI investigation is about whether Kent leaked sensitive information. A Kent woman is heading to federal prison for stealing more than $1 million in veterans benefits. Kelly Lee Carroll told the VA she was bedridden, paralyzed, and needed round-the-clock care. Turns out she could walk just fine. Prosecutors say while she was collecting more than $11,000 a month in benefits, she was traveling to Jamaica, Mexico, and Las Vegas, where she bought a second home. Young adults in foster care here in Washington will soon be able to keep more of their money.
A number of young adults in Washington's foster care system receive Social Security benefits, and the state uses this money to pay for the cost of their care.
Governor Ferguson signed a bill this week that will end that practice starting January 1st for people ages 18 to 21. Now we're going to check traffic, and travel times have gone way, way down. It's pretty good on the roads. Federal Way to Seattle, just 21 minutes on I-5 northbound. I-5 southbound, Linwood to Seattle, 28 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, 15 minutes. Bothell to Bellevue, 18 minutes. The lake bridges are clear. The North Sound is smooth sailing all the way from Edmonds, basically to Bellingham. This report is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. We are going to stay rainy all day today. Your first chance at a break comes Saturday. Meanwhile, a high of 57 today, a high of 56, and rainy tomorrow. It's 52 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
It is Thursday morning. You're listening to the Gee and Ursula Show. We sure appreciate that. Our Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. Let's get to it. Agree to Disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Good news for folks that love a cheap lunch. The Costco hot dog remaining $1.50. As the CEO says, as he gets in on the latest viral trend of CEOs eating their own food. But I was curious, Ursula, we talk a lot about the Costco food court. It's got a lot of hype around it. It's beloved by many. But is it overrated? And there's a second part to this hot dog conundrum I'll get to here in just a moment. But Costco food court, is it a must-go every time you go? Or, I can leave it?
I have to be honest and say that I have never enjoyed a $1.50 hot dog and drink. I have never taken advantage of that amazing deal. Okay, that's one. And then two, I've had the pizza. And we talked about pizza yesterday. And I'm not going to lie either about that. I don't think it's great pizza. That said, I do love the $4.99 rotisserie chicken.
Yes.
Is it still $4.99?
Still $4.99.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in there. So I'm with you, Ursula. I don't stop off at the food court. I just don't. But I will say, I think it is great. I love that Costco does it.
Yes.
And here's something that I've been noticing lately. That food court is super packed right now.
Always packed.
No, I mean, like it's more packed than usual. And I would like to hear, maybe some of you guys work at Costco, maybe you work in the food court, and you could probably agree, like, yeah, it's been more than usual. And to me, when I see that, when I see it packed that way, or you hear about food banks that are packed right now, right now expenses are high. And food insecurity is real, even amongst families where everybody has a job, going to work every day. Sometimes this little increase in gas prices and grocery prices will make you, so when you get ready to do your budget, you have fixed costs. Your rent or your mortgage is this, your car payment is this, your insurance is that. There's some payments, some things that can't be moved. Always when you go to mess with your budget, it always has to do with, well, we can cut our food budget. And so that's why you're seeing at Costco, people is packed. So that $1.50, and that pizza ain't that good. And that pizza.
But the pizza's a great deal, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about some really great deals. And I think there are a lot of people who choke down the hot dog. I probably shouldn't say it that way. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, because it's just so cheap. And then you like the idea of anything for $1.50, but a drink too?
That's what I mean. It's the combo. It's $1.50 hot dog, sure, but it's $1.50 when it's the hot dog and the soda. And I think it's one of the
you're a
best.
big fan. I can tell.
Yeah. There is not a time that I go to Costco where I do not have a Costco dog.
Now, I will say, Tony and Buckley makes a good point. Ranked number one in the nation is that chicken bake.
Oh, yeah. I go for the chicken bake, baby.
That chicken bake.
I haven't done the chicken bake yet.
What's the chicken bake?
It's
basically like
I'm almost afraid to ask.
It's like a giant hot pocket, and you got some cheese and chicken in there with some cheese on top
I think
of
it's got
bread.
like Caesar salad dressing in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Like that. Yeah.
Ursula told my mama was afraid to ask. Ursula, you're 2 for 2 so far today.
I'm 2 for 2. I just come right out. Ask what is this?
You said that other thing. I let that one go.
Talking about the Gen Z thing.
I do have to admit, I set Ursula up at 10:30.
You sure did.
I did.
Paul, you sure did.
I did. I knew the text line was going to react that way. I have to take the blame. Before we move on to the next one here, one of the things that the CEO of Costco was under fire for in his video, he ate the hot dog plain. Gee, can you have a plain dog?
Yeah, you can. Nah,
just a straight plain dog,
yeah.
huh?
Just the same way you can have plain coffee. Some people like the taste of a hot dog. Sometimes also some of these sauces getting away. You want to know why your dog is fat? That's why, because I have a problem. My wife know I love them sauces. I be trying to stay away from the sauce. So it's bad enough you have the bread, then the hot dog. You want to just try to get them sauces away. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah, someone's calling you out because yesterday you said there's no such thing as bad pizza. So, I mean, Costco's pizza is not bad. It's just not the best pizza.
But for the price, it's pretty good.
It's darn good.
For the price, Costco pizza is amazing.
Especially because you can get a whole pie for that as well.
But by the way, in the Puyallup Costco, they got this dude that goes around selling the pizzas. I don't know his name, but my man has the deepest voice.
Oh, serious?
Like, I want to tell him, like, bro, you need to go be an NFL announcer or something. His voice, and if you're listening right now, if you've been to the Puyallup Costco, you know who I'm talking about. Buddy, he's real tall, about 6'6", 6'7", got this beer deep voice, and he talks about, hey, get your pizza, and folks be getting that pizza.
Okay, I need to ask another question, though, about Costco. Why is it that those samples always taste so good?
Them samples be cracking.
Because you're never going to eat those things.
Everything tastes better when it's free.
Oh, boy.
You ain't lying, Nick.
You ever buy something that you get from a Costco sample? Has that ever
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I just usually take the snack and I'm like, all right, thanks.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually not going to eat like an industrial bag of whatever that's going to be. You know what I mean? The little crackers or whatever. All right. From Costco to the hardwood here. Underway right now. It is the big dance. The men's national championship tournament is underway. The women start their tournament tomorrow. Gee.
Yeah.
Are you ready to call this weekend? And, you know, we're starting today and through the weekend. Is this one of the biggest sports weekends of the year? And do you care about the big dance? I don't want to get in trouble for saying the actual word. I don't.
Man, my wife just asked me the other day. She said, "Babe, can you help me fill out my bracket?" I said, whoever the number one seeds are, go ahead and ride with them. I don't know. I'm not into that anymore. I don't.
Were you at any point? My husband filled out a bracket, he's won prizes.
I used to be into it big time.
Oh, okay.
Former head coach of University of Washington, Rick Neuheisel, he was into it too.
Oh.
That's an inside joke if you get that one. No, are you into it, Ursula?
No. I've never filled out a bracket either, but I've enjoyed
You've never filled out a bracket?
No, because I would just be
guessing.
Those are the ones that win. Of the people who make brackets guess.
Yeah.
I will say 80. I'm because I do the same thing. I like watching this time of year where it's the tournament. Everything matters, but I don't watch a minute of college basketball leading up to this. So my follow up and Ursula, if you don't go to one of these schools, if you're not an alma mater, a family member doesn't go, do you find it hard to get really any sort of motivation about college sports? Because that's how I feel. If Ohio University isn't in.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think I care that
I didn't go to Gonzaga. None of my kids went to Gonzaga, but I love that they're almost always in the tournament. So that part I'm interested in anytime there's a local team. I have a son who went to UCLA. Sometimes they're in. So I'm excited about that. But, yeah, you're right. Unless there is a team that is local, I don't have a huge interest. But this is one thing that I just looked at, like how much money is spent like in betting. And then you talked about how people are hurting for money.
Yeah.
But that's not when it comes to March Madness, because they're estimating up to $4 billion in legal wagers are expected from this tournament. And that's not counting all the office pools and that kind of thing.
Ursula, when I don't know if you've ever been to a casino, but
Stop.
when you're at the casino, is the casino filled with a bunch of rich people gambling?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, there are a lot of people who think they're going to get rich.
Right.
And it's just the saddest darn thing.
All right, our good friend
The house always wins.
Always wins. Our good friend Emily in Kirkland, she said her beloved cat, just turned 17 today. The cat's name is
That's
Schmitty.
amazing.
Schmitty. By the way, all Schmitty's
cat
are cool.
shout-outs now.
Cat shout-outs. that's where we at.
In
on
cat
the
years,
Gee
that's
Ursula
like 70.
No, yeah, 17. That's big time.
That's more than 70.
Yeah. All right. Happy birthday, Schmitty. Text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's Words to Live By.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from ConsumerAffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, "After hearing Mike Rowe's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk, and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today!" Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words "switch today" in capital letters with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. The stem cell therapy you did on my knee was a game changer. But Dr. Dan, people ask me all the time if you're seeing the same kind of success treating neck and back pain with stem cell therapy.
Great question, Brock. As you know from your experience, we've had tremendous success treating major joints like hips, knees, and shoulders, but we've also seen excellent results treating neck and lower back pain. In fact, we're the only clinic in the Seattle area offering image-guided stem cell and PRP injection therapy specifically for neck and low back pain.
How cool is that? If joint, neck, or back pain is holding you back, call Dr. Daniel Nelson at Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine and find out if stem cell therapy may be right for you. Dr. Dan here is the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. Call Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's 425-823-4000 or danielnelsonmd.com.
John Curley here. A Lennox heat pump does the work of a furnace and air conditioner. And right now, get Lennox heating and cooling for the price of AC. For heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical, call the Comfort People, Home Comfort Alliance, homecomfortalliance.com.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying your Thursday. Ursula, what's happening?
Well, it's time for us to read all of your feedback. All of you have been busy texting us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. We started with the latest on Joe Kent and his revelations on the Tucker Carlson podcast. Steve in downtown Seattle says, Iran has been trying to build a nuclear bomb, which is an imminent threat from the very beginning. Are we supposed to just wait until the nuclear bombs are completed? Also, Iran has been a leading force in terrorism for many decades already.
Tom says, I feel so bad that I cannot trust my president is saying anything truthful. I don't believe Joe Kent is a good man, but I believe there could be some truth in what he's saying.
And then Paul in the 253 says, it's just more chaos. The White House just seems to create chaos, sometimes small, sometimes big. It really gives the vibe that there is no plan and everything is a gut decision with zero thought.
We were talking about the Dick's drive-in lawsuit here. Glennon Duval says, yes, most of today's workforce has one foot in the HR department door, just looking for a reason to complain and sue.
But then there's JLV in Puyallup who says, if Dick's is withholding funds, then they do need to pay consequences. I had a job that withheld my pay for nearly 2 months, blaming a system error. Anytime I asked about where my money was, they pushed me aside. When I eventually threatened to get a lawyer involved, they magically fixed it within hours after I notified them. Yeah, Dick's is better than most, but corporations still going to be slugs sometimes. If speaking corporate language is the only way to get what's due, then sue, sue, sue.
On Bob Ferguson's comments on the I-5 bridge between Washington and Oregon, now that the price tag is doubling, Danny in Kirkland says, yeah, don't fixate on that number. Just like the light rail, it will double or triple again.
Almost like the only thing that is a sure thing. Would you rather?
Yeah.
And you had asked a bunch of really cool ones today. One was about growth versus stability, but no growth within a job. 360 says you have to have growth. Since everyone is forced to put their money in the stock market and they got rid of pensions, without growth, there's no addition to your savings since savings accounts pay nothing anymore.
Rich in Tacoma says, easy, overpaid and underappreciated any day and every day because payment is appreciation.
Yep. Oh, there's a point.
Yep.
On the Rainier Beach double murder case, 253 says one of the major problems with all of the kids in their behaviors these days is there are no consequences anymore. Teachers aren't allowed to use any discipline. Parents don't use any discipline. And there are no consequences for their activities.
425 says, thank you for what you said about crime in our community and the young man who was charged with shooting 2 students. Not enough people say honestly what was going on, so I really appreciate it. And I live in Renton, so I see firsthand how our community is changing and getting way less safe than it was a few years ago. We need more honest and open discussion and less people testing their theories.
One of the questions we asked during the show today is, how do you disconnect from social media? And I'm not going to use the term that was used by this current generation. I really walked into that one. I was wondering why your eyes were bugging out when I asked you the question.
Yeah. And then
you were shocked.
I think it was Mel in Bainbridge. Somebody was like, I would rather you talk about the raw dogging than the than a Costco hot dog.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean,
But Ursula, you had a couple of them today that I just like, man.
No relation to either one of them.
I know. When I eventually retire, I know these things are going to be trotted out. Remember when? Okay.
Nick got a whole catalog.
We got the receipts here.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Well, 360 says, my disconnect, I drive to a desert trailhead in central Washington, walk in, and I stop. I sit down, and I do nothing. Nothing. The Japanese call it forest bathing as the wilderness just washes over me. Now that sounds like a beautiful thing.
Nice. Who was that?
360.
Whoever you are, you made that sound great.
425 says, my wife left her phone at work on Tuesday. It was the best night in 18 years.
Could you leave your phone at work?
Go back to an earlier topic. 206 says, I play the flute. And you know what? Playing a musical instrument, that is another way I do disconnect. I play the piano.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you played instruments.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah.
All right. In social media here, Heidi in North Bend says, I 1,000% wish I would have never used social media. All the hours of my life I've wasted makes me sick to think about. I always hate going in the loop of bouncing around the apps.
Now, there's a lot to be said to that. I'm going to raise my hand. I've wasted a lot of life on social media.
That's called going down a rabbit hole.
That's one of those things where life is all said and done, and they're going to be like, hey, Billy, you spent 3.5 years on social media of your life.
Yeah. There are two things that I think a hospice worker will tell you that people won't say. One is, I wish I worked more. And I think in the future it'll be, I wish I spent more time on social media.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think people are going to be saying that.
All right, Ursula, it's time for Words Lit By.
This is a quote from Ralph Marston, who says, happiness is a choice, not a result. Nothing will make you happy until you choose to be happy. No person will make you happy unless you decide to be happy. Your happiness will not come to you. It can only come from you.
Your happiness will not come to you. It can only come from you.
Yeah, from within you.
Bar.
It's all a mindset, baby.
Nick, what's up, man?
Well, can Gen Z improve attention spans with tips and tricks with some time alone and leaving screens and phones out of the mix? We could try to make the effort, but there's chances halfway through that we'd start to lose that focus and stick back to our vice like glue. And it's not just younger folks who have distraction in their paws while our Ursula tackles a dog term that was sounding kind of raw. I'm not even talking about the Costco dogs either. That was a whole nother thing on her mind right now.
Hey, Nick, I just kept saying, oh, shoot, here we go.
You knew I was coming back to that.
Ursula, do you have any words you want to say about that?
I blame Paul.
All right, good stuff. Hey, but you know, Ursula, before we get out of here, I just got to say this. If sometimes you're listening to our show or just KIRO News Radio and just like some things like are rough and it feels a certain way, that's normal right now. Like these aren't good times right now. So sometimes it might feel that way.
Yeah.
And I think you're normal if you be like, man. Matter of fact, sometimes I look at people that's around here like, oh, everything's great. I'm like, oh man.
More reason to disconnect.
Hopefully we give you guys a laugh once in a while out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Ursula, thank you.
Thank
Talk to you tomorrow.
Yes.
Go watch the shows that you never will watch.
And Flex Friday.
And Flex Fridays tomorrow. Thanks, Paul. You went, oh, no.
I'm heading to the Big Apple, actually. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Is Sophia Rock? Oh, no. Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob
is
with
us. The boss man. Jacob is here.
G, do you think I'm doing cool stuff or nerd stuff this weekend?
Nerd stuff.
Exactly right.
Thanks, Brother Nick.
You too, man.
Hey, the Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. Thank you, Paul, for all your help this week. We appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. Northwest News.
The throw to first, and it's in time. Holy smokes, what a play by J.P. Crawford. At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But if you're looking for a truly golden view, look no further than the seats on the first baseline, a.k.a. Trident Town. Post up behind the Mariners dugout, and you get a great view of Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, and our entire rotation at work.
Swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs, blew it by and strike 3.
Not to mention the best view of the best home run celebration in baseball. When the Trident goes up, you know a party's going down.
It is gone! Julio!
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
The Mariners' first homestand is stacked. Don't miss opening day on March 26th. Cal Raleigh's 60 home run bobblehead night on March 28th. Presented by Alaska Airlines. And a star-powered showdown against Aaron Judge and the Yankees. March 30th through April 1st. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
At Madrona Financial and CPAs, we believe financial decisions should be made with clarity, not sales pressure. That's why we host weekly educational seminars and live webinars on retirement planning, tax strategies, and rental property decisions, designed to help you think more strategically about your future. Whether you prefer attending in person or joining from home, there's always something coming up. To see our upcoming schedule, visit madronafinancial.com. Madrona Financial and CPAs. Informed planning starts here. Madrona Financial Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File today the easy way in the Credit Karma app.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday. Scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you